And welcome in Jims and Jimettes to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. I'm your host, Nick Johnson. This is episode number 30, 30 episodes. I think basically 30, it's been 30 consecutive weeks. Thank you very much for joining us if you did on that. And as always, we always enjoy it. Yeah, thank you very much. And yes, it has been 0 days since the last White Sox controversy. Seems like that's the only streak they can get on. Thank you, as always, for tuning into No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates Network YouTube page. If you're just stumbling upon us, hit the subscribe button, but only after you hit the like button. Maybe share us around. Tell your friends. Tell your local grocers so that you can distract them as you slide some candy in your sleeve. We saw you, but we're not going to say nothing as long as you like and subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter at Degenerates, and every Friday, 1 p.m. Central, I go live on twitch.tv/SportsTownShy for No Substitute for Sports Live. Clean up anything we didn't get to here and possibly any breaking news. Either way, check us out anywhere and everywhere. Wow, we appreciate you. Plenty to talk about today. A swarm of White Sox issues to get to. The fight between TA and Jose Ramirez, Middleton calling out the clubhouse and the lack of rules, the he said she said thing story with Yasmani Grandal going around. Not the best time to be a White Sox fan. That's why I switched up the cap. All of our thoughts on those and much more. Next, continuing our NFL divisional preview of the NFC North, biggest games of the year. The best bets and tons more to preview there. Thoughts on the Hall of Fame game, the NFL news around the league, including Kareem Hunt and Anthony Barr joining the Saints just today. That broke today. Finally, Heyman on First Take, RVD on AEW, and SummerSlam results. Tons to get to in the wrestling portion of our show. So all that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you my friend and co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat _streams, and that's with a Z. Mikey J. Fat Cat, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. It's been a good day. I'm ready to talk about the NFC North and these fucking Packers, baby.
The
Come on.
Clackers. Well, yeah, there you go. I got my Bears. No, it's not Nick Foles. It's Robbie Gold, baby. Oh, cracking my back. Hopefully you saw it. I'm not gonna do that again. That was
Wow,
pretty good.
Robbie
Actually, we'll
Gold.
try one more time. Oh yeah, let's make it nice and even.
Robbie Gold, really.
Robbie Gold. Oh yeah, kicking us into the playoffs if we had him. Robbie Gold talking about that later in the NFC North preview. But we had some appetizers to get to, like we usually do.
Good.
Just and per usual, usually talking cinema or revisiting, re-reviewing. I actually went and saw it, like we talked about on the last week's episode. Talk to me. Talk to me again. Well, talk to me about Talk to Me. Uh I guess like it said, big spoilers on this end. So be warned. We'll give you 3 seconds to give you 3 seconds for a countdown. 2, 1. There you go. You've been warned. Ah, let's see. Let's see here. Let's get. I mean, I didn't write anything down. I was pretty enthralled by the movie. Overall, like I said, not the worst horror movie I've seen. Definitely not. Those Australian accents were definitely something. Those were fun. Overall, I laughed with it, not at it for the most part. Uh, what was even this chick's name? I kind of forgot that.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I've seen it twice and I can't think of it on the top of my head.
Yeah. So what came down to this ultimately was the main character. This is right around her mother's Remembrance Day. I wish I would have looked more into that. I'm only assuming from context clues this was probably be around her death. They do some sort of ceremony to remember said person at this time. I don't think we do it over here in the States, but like I said, this was taking place in Australia. Uh, I, I guess we open up to the part where you guys even missed. It's all surrounded by this hand and this whole idea that it's opening up a portal into this world of ghosts and ghouls and goblins and all this bullshit. I don't know this movie. I'm just thinking about it now.
Hmm.
kind of ridiculous from the get-go. The whole idea that these kids, and you gotta I guess even pull it back a little bit and realize, yes, these are kids, so you gotta think of it in this mindset. But like, I guess the big popular thing is to get possessed and hold on to this hand and get videotaped and going around, and it's that's the fun thing to do at these parties. I don't know. I was thinking about this like earlier today. I would like to say if this was happening in real life that I wouldn't want to go to these parties, but I probably would. I probably would have ended up going to one of these just to actually check it out, but just to see, like, you know, all this possession and the way that it screwed everybody up. It was, it was pretty weird. It was pretty freaky at sometimes. So, jump scares not galore, but at the right time, yes. And I guess some metaphors here and there at the beginning. There's this whole thing about a kangaroo that you and Alan officially, now you guys saw it, so hopefully that makes sense now. It goes towards the
Yeah.
end. A kangaroo, they pull over at the beginning. And the kangaroo, I thought it was a deer, but again, Australia, so it was a
I
kangaroo.
also thought it was a deer.
It was like, oh, it was upsetting for sure. But the kind of a lot more was upsetting throughout this film. But yes, just the idea that she couldn't put the kangaroo out of its misery ends up coming towards the end without knowing it. Again, spoiler, you basically see what happens to the character at the beginning is what happens at the very end, which is attempted murder on the brother, which you can compare to the dad in this character, and then kills herself. So there, like I said, spoiler, kills herself at the end. Uh
Hmm.
I'm definitely spotty, but definitely missing a lot. I don't want to go too heavy in it because a ton to get to today. I'm not saying it was the worst. I'll give it like a 5.5 and it's out of 6 possibly. Definitely rewatchable, and something I would maybe pay attention to is just I don't know if they're gonna make a whole multiverse out of it or sequels and
I was gonna
prequels.
say they just announced today they're making a second one. So
There you go.
A24 just announced they must have done well at least.
I mean, there doesn't seem like the budget was all too high. So I mean, something like this where you just need this hand, you just need this prop and a couple of houses and places. There's so, like I said, the parts that I was laughing at weren't anything too crazy. It was just a kid. There's a part where the young one of the brothers, the young brother, is in the hospital and he's taken out of the hospital towards the very end. And it seems like that's actually a nurse that works at that hospital. There's no way they got an extra just for that. So so she just walks in. He's like, "Where's the body?" He's like, I don't know." Like that's just the scene. And so it makes me laugh. That made me laugh. And then the part where she's holding the whole part of this thing is like you only hold on to it for 90 seconds. And they go way over with the main character and they bring her back in. So it's almost 2 minutes, 3 minutes go by, and they finally rip the hand off of her. It's whether it's 2 or 3 minutes theoretical or just in real time, and they pull it off finally. Reels are back, and he's like, "Hey, hey, we went a little long. You all right?" It's just like, God, a little too calm for that situation. Like you were fucking people up. So
Yeah, she's like, "You all good? We went a little over." Like,
yeah, that made me laugh too pretty hard. So
And I was
uh,
like again, like it's like when they're getting the little kid to do when the little kid wants to do it, and like, and she's like the main girl is like, it's all right, right? Like, no, I'm just like, no, it isn't, man.
no, it
Like you
never
said, it's
is.
just
It's
funny
not.
because it is funny. I just to think about. It's like, why the hell would anybody? That's why I was laughing at like them looking at the Snapchats and stuff. Like, oh, look at this guy possessed as fuck. I was like, why? Like, why would you want to do this?
Oh my
I don't.
god.
That's one thing. Yeah, but it was. I fhave like it was decent. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I enjoyed the ending. I felt like it was satisfactory to me in the sense that it may have been a little too quick, and I do have a couple of questions overall, but nothing that's like gonna rattle or ruin my day in that sort of sense. Like, just Again, like I guess the solution wasn't really it wasn't a part of the young boy that he wasn't possessed, but he was, and he wasn't possessed. I kind of
I feel like she was just being manipulated.
that's what I thought too. But then again, like she wasn't the main character, wasn't in the room when it was just the sister, the mom, and the brother during the when he was getting a sponge bath. Like she wasn't there, and he was doing possession things and shit. And she didn't in the sister again. It's hard. We're not using names because we don't really know. But the sister of that boy, uh, she didn't do the hand thing. Only the friend and the boyfriend and the brother. Literally, only her. She did not do that, and yet she saw that. I don't know. It was confusing, and that was the only part that was confusing. But yes, it was ultimately. I think she was just being the main character.
Like, well, the whole thing is that
What is
it's
her
like
name?
her
Being
mom, it's
manipulated.
Mia. Her name's Mia. That's
Yes,
the main
thank you.
character's
Mia
name.
is being manipulated the whole time, and I think it probably just again metaphor around depression, possibly being able to be all that sort of junk, maybe possibly.
Yeah,
Uh,
because they make it seem like her mom is talking to her,
yeah,
but
and
it seems like I interpret it as if it was not her mom,
I agree.
actually
Yeah,
her mom.
same here. Same here. Yeah, ultimately still pretty fun. Ultimately, like I said, just
Because
spooky.
again, so just as I'm thinking about it, the movie again, just like because they find the guy on the bus from the first scene right at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah,
and he tells them that like the spirit gets the weaker the longer it's inside of them. So I guess
he just waited it
I
out.
guess Riley, because they show that the kid is fine at the end, right?
Yeah.
Or at least they try to show that. So I guess he was. So if she did kill him right there, like the mom was whispering in her ear at the end, like I'll be with him forever. Like so, if she did kill him, then Riley would have been fucked. Like then the spirits would have
Yeah.
been.
Okay. That.
Then they
Yeah.
would have been
No, you're
fucking
right.
with him forever. So that's why I think she finally killed herself.
Yeah, it's okay. So definitely all because of that, she was able to end it. And yeah, I guess whether it was a sacrifice or she was just done dealing with being manipulated. Either way, so I liked the ending. I liked maybe it was rushed and maybe someone could label it like that, but just seeing everyone go by, that seemed like torture, and that's exactly what being in limbo or being dead would probably be like. And so there you go. You're talk to me. That's it. That's
Also,
that.
the one quick 30-second scene where they show like Riley just getting like tortured, it's like so fucked up. Like
Oh
I was just
yeah,
like they show for like 30 seconds, but it's just so fucked up.
yeah. That one's yeah. It was. It was definitely. I wouldn't like I said. I wouldn't say I was like poop my pants scared, but definitely at times it was just creepy. Like it was definitely bugged out, and I got the chills at some point. It was just yeah. It was all around pretty put together.
Yeah,
Like I said,
good
if the
start
budget
to
was
good
low,
start to finish.
yeah. Overall, like I said, there's definitely other horror movies that have come out that are just so laughably bad that you're like, all right, well, this one is actually decent
Yeah,
and good. So there
like
you go.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey and stuff. Like here,
Exactly. So another decent one from A24. So there you go. Like I said, in my mind, not perfect 10 out of 10, but it's
no,
definitely rewatchable. Not gonna, I wouldn't want to bash on it like that or nothing. So
it's
yeah,
got its moments.
So yeah, still like I said, we didn't really get through everything. I didn't spoil every single good moment. So definitely take the
Yeah,
time, rewatch, talk to me. Definitely worth it.
talk
Let's
to
see here.
me.
Good. Go with that one. Go with that one. Got any
Yeah.
final thoughts? For sure. Onto a couple more appetizers, maybe some cheese sticks, maybe a little breadsticks. Uh
Hmm.
a little omission. This guy, I guess, shout out to us a couple weeks ago for shouting him out,
No.
but Blake Martinez now banned on whatnot for apparently scamming TCG collectors. Don't know exactly what that means, but I googled it. The Pokemon TCG community. Let me click on what that exactly that means. Oh, the trading card game. That's easy enough. Okay, so everyone that just collects and sells and trades Pokemon cards. The community commended whatnot for banning the account of Blake Martinez after he was accused of scamming multiple times over the past year. Let's see. But some demanded that the companies with less star power also get the same treatment, pointing out other businesses that have scammed Pokemon collectors and whatnot. So all around trying to crack down on getting scammed in this card game. I don't know. Shame on us. Definitely shame on Blake Martinez. So we didn't know this back in the day. They didn't know he was screwing people over, but now we know. Now, oh my goodness, now we know. That one all caught up in my throat. A little burpy guy. Either way, Blake Martinez, what are you doing? You screwed up. I would say you can go back to football, but I don't know if that's going to be necessarily the case either. So, Blake Martinez,
A
any thoughts?
scammer.
Yeah, the scammer. You're a fraud. You're a scammer. And you go to the Shark Tank meme. Or whatever. You're a mother, you fucking scammer.
Oh, that yeah.
You're an asshole. uh, All good on Blake Martinez. I don't know any final thoughts on this guy. Like I said, we will not be buying, selling, or trading with Blake Martinez. I don't collect any Pokemon cards anyways, so
Yeah, I mean, he used to be on the Packers, but he did great on the
scumbag.
team, but he's a horrible person. So fuck him. Scamming
Yeah.
people for
Yeah.
Pokemon cards. Come
Yeah,
on.
I want to sometimes I want to trust that site and I want to get into it, but then I don't, even though it is like most likely the most reliable, but there's still instances like that. And there have been a couple other people. It's not the site necessarily, it's definitely just the scummy people that decide to buy that just try and sell and move shit on there. I've been on whatnot for a couple of months, still have my $10 credit, haven't found anybody or anything worth buying yet, so I don't know whatnot. Sell me something. I'll buy something. There's one final thing, but I don't really have the news article and anything in front of me. The Ohio State quarterback was betting on games, therefore going to be suspended for some odd time. Not good, not good. I would say shame on you, and maybe throw this question out to you. Should they be suspended if their overall net gain is in the positive? If they won more bets than they lost bets, should they still be suspended?
It's like it, I, yeah, if they're positive, then why is yeah, they're in, right?
That's what I'm saying. The whole thing, from what I do remember, like I said, I don't have the article exactly in front of me, so some details will go by the wayside. He was betting on Ohio State games, but not the football games. A lot of basketball games. Again, he's on the football team, quarterback of the football team.
So he was just rooting for his school.
He was rooting for the school. However, not so good when you have an inside. It's frowned upon when you have an inside in like a real inside scoop like that. Like I
How does he
said,
have an inside scoop?
he goes to the school. He's definitely got connections. He's the quarterback of the goddamn team. He knows people. He's got some people.
Like
But like I
what?
said,
He
I'm
can't
not for.
control them
I
beating other
know,
teams.
and that's only me assuming from that point. Like I said, I was okay with it as long as he wasn't betting on the football team, or I don't believe he was even on camp on the football on the camp, not the facility, yeah, the football facility part. I think that's the big part. That's definitely what's going on in the NFL. That was why everyone else was
Yeah.
suspended.
Well,
If
yeah, not good.
you're gonna be gambling, you just got to do it responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER first of all, and then of course, just if you can't bet at the facility, just go across the street. It's as simple as that. Just get off the property and don't bet on your own school. Don't do nothing. I don't know. It's all silly. It's all ridiculous. Now that they got these NIL deals, I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. If you're good on appetizers, don't fill up on bread. We can get to our main courses, our main everything right here. Are you good on that?
Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
let's hit it.
Well, it's been unfortunate. Big unfortunate week. It's been awful, upsetting. The state of the White Sox is just
Hmm.
it's unbearable. It's awful. It's brutal. Like I said, all those words, everything, all the adjectives you want to throw together. Hopefully I use that correctly. Hopefully it's all there. Hopefully you understand. But we'll go through exactly what happened and break down everything in between. Simply, just obviously, just get to the good, the meaty part. What everyone else is talking about, the TA fight, the Tim Anderson fight with Jose Ramirez. Uh, I'll get exactly. It's he popped him. There's no other which way around it. Like TA got knocked out. That's exactly what happened. So the memes piled up, the memes galore. That's fine. Uh, I just fighting and going on. Oh, geez, that's a pretty good shot. I mean, shout out to the broadcaster. It was either the radio or just the TV announcer for Bailey Sports. It turned in going right from baseball into boxing announcing. That was pretty good. So that was a good call. That's going to be remembered for a bit. And overall, Tim Anderson having a rough year. It's gonna be tough to try and bounce back from anything of this. He's getting a 6-game suspension. Jose Ramirez gets a 3-game suspension. And I believe Pedro Grifol, Terry Francona, let me see who else. Emmanuel Clase, the closer for the
Yeah, they
Cleveland
all got
Guardians.
one game.
And then somebody else, Sarabao. I don't know the first name of his, maybe somebody, I don't know. They all got 1-game suspensions, yes. So overall, I'll just say this. Of course, I'll come to the conclusion at the end of it all, but I'm sick of the narrative of just like, hey, being told. Of course, we know as White Sox fans, if you've done your homework and you've been here long enough, you know that the White Sox franchise and everything around it is in shambles. Nothing is in order. Nothing is where it should be. We know that as fans. So to be told that and to be constantly like kicked and pushed around and told again to be told that I'm not gonna sit here and just accept that. I'm gonna tell I'm not in shambles. I can separate everything that's going on and understand that the White Sox shouldn't be in this situation. They shouldn't be 24 games below 500. Shouldn't be losing this division necessarily. Shouldn't be behind the Detroit Tigers. And all that jazz, but we understand that. That's the whole point. So again, everyone, yes, they'll pile on, and I'll accept the fact that yes, the White Sox, the franchise, everything, it's in the dirt. It sucks. Nothing's exactly gonna change until Jerry Reinsdorf sells. That's literally that's the entire point. It's not my thought. Everyone else has had this before. Nothing else is going to change. And even if Jerry tries to sell or give it up, he's going to give it to his kid, and he's going to be there for another 30 years, 30, 40 years. So nothing's really going to change. It's not nothing until the front office goes. So until then, I'm going to root for my guys. I'm going to stick up for them because, like I said, we're in the dirt. You got to take the L's just as much as you got to accept the W's that come with being a White Sox fan. So that's what it is. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick up for the squad no matter what. It sucks, and I get it. I can still acknowledge the fact that they're awful in just about every department, from top to bottom, from managing to having some sort of actual leadership or anything like that. Yeah, it sucks, but I'm still gonna represent. I'm gonna look stupid, silly. I'm gonna look like I'm crazy and whatnot. It's fine. I'm completely okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. That's part of being a fan. Short for fandom is fanatic, and fanatic is you're crazy, you're a lunatic, you're running around with your shirt off. That's what we do. How we guys are, how the squad is. So take it for what it is. Again, I'm all over the place with a ton of stuff. Again, like it sucks. All of this piling on all at once. That's gonna happen. So Kenyon Middleton or whatever useless guy who's gonna be out of the league and in X amount of years. Yeah, say that the team there was no one leadership wise, and throw all the shades which way, and then of course Lance Lynn will do the same by, hey, I'll tell you when he was wrong. I'll correct what he was wrong on. Yeah. Oh,
you get it? I don't know if you get it. I don't know if you let it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we get it, you fat fuck. Yeah. While you were not being a leader and trying to lead the team, you were leading the league in ERAs and throwing meat dolls down the fucking middle. Yeah, of course. And then also trying to be most likely one of the worst teammates I've ever seen in my entire life. God forbid someone falls in the outfield. You gotta motherfuck everybody, and of course everything's about you. But yeah, maybe you put the fucking fork down and try and be a leader and rally these guys around your squad. I mean, you were just third in Cy Young last year. Where was that performance this year?
Huh.
There you go. Yeah. And shout out to your two past performances to the Padres and the A's. Congratulations. Give yourself the Cy Young. Pat yourself on the back. You're on the Dodgers. Of course, you're probably going to get runs. Yeah, that's what happens when you get from averaging like what 3 or 4 runs a game to being on the Dodgers. They were just down 5-0, and then they come back and rally and like win 13-7. That's what's going to happen. You're on the Dodgers. I digress. Let's see, and then just the final one, just blazing through it. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'll get to you really quick. Just
You're good.
of course the Grandal story. Everyone's gonna. That just shows to show you how little people look into shit. And as soon as they see a story, grasp onto it, repost it, throw it around, share it into group chats. Hey, it wasn't true. And even if you don't want to believe it wasn't true, Yasmani Grandal said for sure it wasn't. So there you go. I'll take it. I'll take it as that. I really don't understand. So again, that just goes to show you like groupthink is and all that, the sharing it and all, maybe not social media. I'm not gonna go on a rant on that, but just it goes to show you that people don't do their homework, and then just when one thing happens and it piles on, it snow and it, whatever, the snow plow, the snow mountain continues and rolls down the hill. It just continues like that. So false narratives get shared around, shit like that. It sucks. Like I said, it sucks right now. Absolutely. I can acknowledge everything that's going on and understand that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to tuck my tail between my fucking legs and not be a fan and not still root for them. I'm going to shout out loud and proud. So there you go. White Sox till we fucking die. Bleeding black and gray. That's just how that shit is. What were your thoughts, concerns, anything that's going on from this week, anything you want to share get off your chest? Like I said, anywhere from the TA fight to the Middleton to Grandal story.
White Sox are just in trouble right now, and I hope that they take a good long look at this whole team, front to bottom, front office, everything this off season, because we need to figure something out. This has just been a train wreck, and it just culminates all with, I mean, this just horrible. Tim Anderson. He's always kind of been like, kind of seemed like he kind of can get angry at times, but I mean, this was ridiculous. The fact that he starts the fight and then he gets knocked out and then he gets suspended more games.
I think that's just because he instigated it, obviously.
Yeah, it's
The one
just
started it.
It's not
But
good for
I'll
him.
give in that the only thing on that, of course, yes, Tim Anderson started the fight, but the whole Jose, he's tagging me too hard, and then there was also that review about Tim Anderson pushing that guy's hand off the base. They called him safe at first, reviewed, and then called him out later. So don't blame Tim Anderson on that. Blame the New York review team on that. So that all kind of stirred from that. And yes, whatever you have to say, Jose Ramirez may be liked in Verge. There's nothing really wrong about him. He doesn't talk shit. He's not an ass swipe in any sort of way, but that was still pretty soft comments. He's tagging me too hard. Okay, for sure, dude. He's tagging you too hard. Welcome to the major leagues.
Wow. Well, Tim Anderson's going to be suspended 6 games, like we mentioned, and I don't know if I don't know if he'll be able to bounce back to how he used to be after this. So, I
Legacy
don't.
is tarnished only if he doesn't bounce back and perform. That's the only thing that's going to solve it. Winning solves all. That's simply the thing. And that whether he does it here in Chicago or whether he does it on another team, he might get traded in the offseason. That might be the best bet to just completely commit to the actual rebuild and eventually get rid of Tim Anderson, and Moncada will go whether he's traded or not. Yasmani will whether he's traded or not. So the core, this core, these people, the toxic people, if you whether you want to label it on them or not, some of them will be gone before the beginning of next season. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tim will be gone, unfortunately. And I saw it's apparently, I don't even know if it's an accurate report, but I saw that he like moved his locker to the corner of the clubhouse like at the beginning of the season. He's just apparently been disconnected from the team, and it's just, I don't know. It just seems like he's been downhill all season. It's never really gone up. He hit the one home run and that was cool, but I mean, he hasn't really done much for us this year, sad. And I mean, it just sucks. 'Cause, I mean, we talk about it all the time whenever we talk about the Sox. I mean, which they should not be in the position that they're in right now, but
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate. And yeah, it all starts with the front office too, and they're retarded. So I don't think they've ever done anything to help the Sox really. Every offseason, I don't think anything like they
I
never
said it
make a
last week.
move.
We're back to where we started with what positions we need and exactly what's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It's tough.
It's like, who did we sign this offseason?
Ben
We
and
got
Tendy.
we got Ben Tendi, who has been decent, but it's like, I mean, we don't have a star team, which is like we're not gonna beat teams like the Dodgers. Like we're not gonna beat the teams like they're just way like the Braves, like they're just way more stacked than us from top to bottom, like pitching, hitting, like just everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while for us to be able to
To get a
bounce back,
core,
because
to get an
baseball
actual
is not
core.
a sport where we can just sign one person and it's like, oh, we're good now. It's like it's going to be a process. And
Yeah. I wish it was as simple as just it's one thing. No, there's so much wrong. There's, like I said, from top to bottom, there's multiple people in the front office that need to go. The decision making is off by a mile, and then just swing and a miss with the attempting with these group of guys, whether it was chalk it up to tons of injury. Lucas Giolito, when he left, he made mention of that. I believe Lance Lynn also something along those lines was just never, just again paraphrasing. There's never no one was really ever healthy at all at the same time. Whether it was just
there were
everyone,
so many
so
injuries.
many, and just even from this fight, Eloy goes down just on point with Eloy getting banged up, not even doing anything. I felt like that was like a comic, like a little comic book, like it was Peter Griffin coming out of there with that ah
Yeah,
type
him
bullshit.
hopping out of the the big
Yeah,
scuffle.
exactly. Uh, so yeah, Glass Bones Timmy over there, Glass Bones Jim, just can't catch a break with that. And like I said, yeah, it's exactly that. Just underperforming, the injuries all at once. Not really, when we do get injuries, the guys that come up the depth chart, that they're not performing, they underperform. Whether it's just not enough offense or good enough on defense, but just like not performing with key at bats, just all sorts of issues, all sorts of issues. Like I said, I wish I could point at one particular thing and say it was that, but simply can't do that. And on top of that, like I said, Reinsdorf, they don't want to buy. They don't want to open up the checkbook and spend money on any sort of big free agent. So
We've missed so
that's
many opportunities over
yes,
the years.
countless opportunities and countless big names that could have been on the White Sox in any sort of way for X amount of time, but they no, there's on to greener and better pastures, and for
We
whatever
could have
reason,
had Bryce Harper. Like he
yeah,
said he was so close to signing with us, but
yeah.
we didn't offer him enough money. Like
Like Chicago is where it's at. Like it's a good city, whether you're on the north side or the south side. Like it doesn't like I'm sure being on a Chicago team is pretty awesome. you know, uh, Justin Steele was just on Pick Central today, and actually that was actually pretty cool because they asked him a question, gained a lot of respect for Justin Steele today. He
hmm.
goes, what do you guys do during rain delays? And without hesitation, he goes, mock drafts. I just banging through mock
What?
drafts. I go, oh my God, what? Let's go. What?
Okay.
Let's go. That's pretty awesome. So shout out to Justin Steele. Yeah, like I
Oh,
said, gaining some respect right
that's
there without a doubt.
hilarious.
Where was I going on that? Just either way, just yeah, no, like Chicago's where it's at. He was saying like it's probably he thinks Wrigley's the best place to pitch. Well, we can agree to disagree on that, but he just loves the city. He loves everything about it and being every which way. That's, I
A
mean,
great
Marcus Stroman the
place.
same way. So just a lot of players, I guess, just on the it's just, I guess it's, yeah, it's the culture, it's everything. It's not, there's nothing we can do as fans other than, I mean, I've been to one game this year. I might go to another one, but that's about it. Like, so you can do some Oakland A's reverse boycott type deal or not go to games, however you want to do. Bring your sign, sell the team, paint your chest that says sell the team. Make your voice be heard. Do something. That something for sure needs to change. I wish I had the solution right in front of me, but I don't know. And I wish I could say it would be figured out sometime next year. But my only thing is why I'm staying optimistic and not being so down in the dumps is because White Sox did have a nice trade deadline. We went through it last week. So there's opportunity for a core of guys to come up and actually be solid. So while it still can take time, I got some time. So I'll definitely take the time and watch the squad as they go. And I'll remember all the shit days when the White Sox are doing well in the future. So that's all I can leave it. I can leave it there. That's why I want to stay hopeful and optimistic. So everyone that wants to say, hey, you should feel bad. Your team's in shambles, therefore you should be in shambles. No, no. I get that's gonna kill you. I think that's ultimately what's really killing them inside. So it is what it is. Any
Hmm.
final thoughts, concerns, questions, thoughts on the White Sox? Everything else. Hopefully I didn't step on your toes.
No. Yeah, I mean, I will just I don't even know what to say for the rest of the season. I mean, they're not gonna do much for the rest of the season if I had to take a guess. We'll win some, lose most.
It's going to be
And
tryouts for the pitching rotation for next season. So a lot of Tuki Toussaint getting some starts like he is today, I believe. Maybe a couple call ups just to get some at bats as the time goes. It will not be very enjoyable. It'll be time. It'll be spoil time. It'll be definitely be spoil time for the White Sox to get in there and ruin some streaks and ruin some, I don't know, people that are
yeah,
on a good momentum swing. Just fuck up their series and get like 2 or 3 wins out of them. I think
fuck
that's
some
that's the time
teams
to do that.
over.
Pad some stats, and then a couple of guys will be on their way come next season. They'll just try and collect their dough. I mean, that's the rest of the White Sox season.
We're still Sox fans till we die, and these shit storms make the winning so much sweeter once it
Oh yeah.
comes, like you said. So, I mean, when the time comes, which it eventually will, the Sox will figure it out.
I mean, it's times like this that people show their true colors. What I'm saying is just like the White Sox fans will leave and become, Orioles fans and Rays fans and Cubs fans, and they'll be that for these upcoming months and these upcoming years. And then when the White Sox are good, they'll be like, I was there, 2005. I was there. Leury Garcia hit that home run. He did. Yeah, yeah, he sure did. He did. So like I said, it'll be times like this. People will change up on you. I, but yeah, someone has to, take away Tim Anderson's Twitter account. He was on those cryptic tweets. Chill out with that, Antonio Brown. I mean, Tim Anderson.
Yeah, just relax,
Yeah.
TA.
No, I don't even want to compare him to Antonio Brown. That's what an ass wipe. Either way, final thing on MLB before we hop into our NFL NFC North divisional preview. The Orioles suspended their broadcaster for simply speaking facts. It's been going around. The graphic was something about how the Orioles haven't performed or actually haven't won a series in Tampa Bay since like 2017, something like that. They're in Tampa. They're like, oh, it was something ridiculous. Either way, all those notes were given to him to say live on air, and then he ends up getting suspended. I'm sick of just guessing names and whatnot. So Orioles, I want to get Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown, the broadcaster, ends up getting getting removed for his comments on the booth.
For
Absolutely
speaking
ridiculous.
facts.
Yes, for simply speaking facts. I'm going to see if I can get exactly what the picture was or nothing from the article, but nothing seems to want to load right now. Regardless, absolutely wild, insane. Just wanted to, that'll fly under the radar because, of course, the White Sox are, they're in shambles. So everything else will just be on that and everything that they do for the next couple of days. Shout out to the White Sox for winning. It's past like 3 in a row. So there you go. That's all right. Uh, Either way, like I said, we're speaking the truth, speaking the facts, whether it was his fault or not. There you go. There's his. It's exactly was from the exact video from when he got suspended. What are your thoughts on Kevin Brown getting the axe? Well, at least for a little bit.
I saw that he's coming back on sometime soon. So, but yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking would happen.
Soft.
Like they thought that people would agree with this. It's like, oh yeah, good suspension. Like so, he
And he's
said
like
nothing
he's
wrong.
very good at his job. Like it would be different if it was. I don't know. Actually, don't know off the top of my head like a bad broadcaster just to have on hand. But from what I understand, if Benetti's giving him his flowers and talking him up, I'm gonna trust in Benetti. He knows what's going on. He's a good little broadcaster.
Yeah,
So
and did you hear the Benetti's jab at them where he was
yes, I
yeah, he
did.
was like, I
That was
hope I
cool.
don't get suspended for saying this.
I
Like
know. I got ooh. No, no, no. He's not going to get suspended because there's enough going on over there in the White Sox franchise. But yeah, sure enough, Kevin. Yeah, this is. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, absolutely. Again, shouldn't have been his fault in any sort of way. If it's in front of him, it's on the teleprompter. He didn't cuss anyone out, so you can't say it was on that
Yeah.
Anchorman shit. So it was right there. He
Fuck
was told
you,
to.
San Diego.
And go fuck yourself, Baltimore. Just on like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, either way, bad move. I'm glad he'll be back, and they'll treat him right because exactly what Benetti tweeted out. Someone else will for sure. Some other broadcasting team would want to scoop him up, maybe nationally or just individually. So he's got a good thing going. Between that, he does some other sports on the national level, some college stuff. But so like I said, he's good. He's good at his job. He knows what he's doing. If you're good on that, good on MLB, we can head on in to the NFC North divisional preview. Everything in between on that. That's why we got these jerseys on. That's why Mike, of course, for another week in a row, looks so ridiculous. He looks like a booger. Doesn't he look like a booger, ladies and gentlemen?
What?
NFC North headlines, questions of the year. Let's go ahead and see notable games on the schedule, notable NFC North ad drops from each team, MVP odds to pay attention to, and a couple of offensive player of the year odds as well. Team total wins over and under, division winners, and I got a couple more props, at least one for each other team to go ahead and pay attention to. Of course, bit.ly/no sub bets if you want to sign up on Bet Rivers. Go ahead and enjoy that. A risk-free bet up to $500 when you deposit $500 or more. So all good on that. Make sure you're 21 and over. Make sure you're in Illinois. And of course, 1-800-GAMBLER if you have any gambling issues. Without further ado, we can hop into the NFC North. I'll give you actually, unfortunately, under for whatever reason. I'll let you go ahead and maybe start off. Did you want to preview, just get your thoughts and just everything associated with the Packers before, of course, I go in and just talk my talk like I usually do?
Yeah, I could talk it. I could give some quick stuff about them.
Go ahead, because you can maybe fill me on a couple things before I get going too.
Hmm. Well,
I'm
this
just
is
kidding. We're talking about the fucking Bears right away. What do you think we're doing? Are you kidding me? We're talking about the Bears. Is Fields the man or is he just a man for the season upcoming? I thought can see how fucking pissed you are. Oh man. How many games can the Bears improve by? That's what we're gonna be focusing on, of course, when we talk about the Bears. and all their headlines from the year. The Packers, we'll get to those at the end. Will the Lions live up to the hype? Will the Lions live up to the hype of being the odds-on favorites to win the division? And will they get their sideline lion? Those are my questions for the year. The Vikings, besides Justin Jefferson, what is the team going to be watched for? I don't know. We'll get to that. Finally, on the Packers, Jordan Love. What is he? Is he a man? Is he a mouse? Is he a quarterback? Is he a running back? What should the expectations be for him and this team going forward? Because it won't be winning. So those are my questions.
Okay.
Now I'm done. I'm done messing with you. Go ahead. Give your thought just on those questions. Everything I laid out just there. Give your quick your preview on everything. I've got.
Well, Jordan Love's not a mouse. I can tell you that. I don't know. It's gonna be the first season where I'm not just super confident that the Packers could we're winning. We have a chance to win the division. Like, let's go, baby. I honestly can't believe the Bears are the fucking least favorite to win the division. It's honestly kind of absurd even to me. But I mean, they're tied on certain apps, but for the most part, yeah, Bears have higher odds on most apps. It looks like. Okay, Packers offense is going to be interesting. I know nothing about Jordan Love, and that's what intrigues me this season. I honestly don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. We've seen glimpses. I've seen glimpses of him being good. I've seen glimpses of him being bad. So I don't know what to think. He's never started a game yet. But what I do know is he's been behind Aaron Rodgers for 4 years. And I mean, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks, and people can't argue the skill Aaron Rodgers has. So you have to gain something from that. I don't know.
You would hope so, right?
I would hope so. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, as bad seasons as he's had some bad seasons, but he definitely learned stuff from Tom Brady playing behind him, and he's still in the league right now, starting. So I mean, it just goes to show that he is a skilled player, and I bet that it will help. It has helped Jordan Love.
I would argue that of all of Tom Brady's proteges, Jacoby Brissett might be the best one. Or the bald white guy, I forgot his name. Brian Hoyer. He's all right.
Yeah, Brady's had some proteges throughout the years that haven't
Young
really
Padawans.
done much. But yeah, I forget how long Brady was in the league for. But
forever.
Yeah, a lot of people were playing alongside him. Packers are just going to be interesting, man. I hope Jordan Love is good. Bears fans hope he's bad, and the rest of the NFC North. So
yeah.
that's basically how it goes. Again,
I couldn't have said it better myself, friend.
No, nothing about him, but I hope that he has a good week one against the. I mean, I hate that they have to play the first week against the Bears. Like, you couldn't have given us a couple games. Come on.
I could say the same thing. I wish we got a couple of games too, just to get our bearings, just to get everything right. But
it just feels like such a big game right away, because I feel like this is. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like that, man. Like, it's like this game's gonna make or break us. But like, I honestly
week
think
one is must win.
But this is a very big game, week one. I feel like it is. It's in Soldier Field. If the Packers can win in Soldier Field with Jordan Love, I mean that's huge for us. That's a great start to the season. So I'm very, very. I'm trying to find the right word for it, but I'm just like I said before, I'm just intrigued. I know the defense is still there. Didn't really lose much on defense. We still are going to have a stacked defense. The offense is what's going to be questionable, but apparently Jordan Love has been decent in practices. I was watching his clips from the family night the other day in Lambeau, throwing some deep passes to Romeo Doubs. They got Christian Watson, still got Aaron Rodgers, still got Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, which, from I think one of the best running back duos in the league. I mean, you got the fast and quickness with Aaron Jones, and you got that power, and with AJ Dillon, that goal line presence that you need. So they're still gonna have. I feel like they could still have a decent offense. There's still some good old linemen. It's just all depends on Jordan Love. It's all gonna be. There's all eyes are on him right now, and it's a big season. It's not gonna be like, oh, it's just like there's gonna be his first year. Give him a break. Like, no, like you have to get in there and you got to start performing because you've had all these years to get ready and it's your time to go. So I mean, yeah, I don't want to keep talking about the Packers, but
No, they're fine, dude. That's what we're here for, dude. I mean, for as much time as you're going to talk about the Packers, I'm going to talk double about the Bears, probably. So I mean, that's
yeah,
just how it's going to be.
I'm say it's shocking to say I'm excited because most people would expect me to be in shambles because Aaron Rodgers isn't here anymore. But I'm over that. Again, I hope the Jets do well. Excited for Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
And
Hard Knocks tonight, I believe. That's what we're
yeah,
going for.
and yeah, it should be an interesting season. I just hope that they're not just like god awful. I mean, that's my hope. That's my hope.
Well, that's my hope that they are god awful.
I know. That's why I said
exactly that. Exactly what you're not rooting for. I just before I get on the Bears, just I would maybe possibly use that word in some sort of sense. I believe the Packers just because focusing and paying attention to the NFC North like we have to. It is going to be intriguing and very, very interesting to see what the Packers and how they look for the remainder of the season. It could be figuring them out right away that they might be hopefully and hopefully for me, hopefully they're dog shit just right away and just out the gate. And we're going to recognize that and, chalk them up for a couple wins here and there. I'm not going to sit there and say they're going to go 0-17. That's not in the cards. I believe somewhere down the line, of course, they're going to get their wins and probably some way, screw over somebody in the division, maybe split a few series. But of course, the Bears are gonna roll through them. Like I said, of course, like you just mentioned, Jordan Love, that's going to be case in point. He's going to get some help with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. That's two pretty reliable running backs. If you just need run game, if you need to move the ball, if you need to get 3 yards a gain, you can most likely rely on those two. So that helps very much. So if he's got Watson still,
Christian Watson, that's the
Christian
rookie from
Watson?
last year.
And then they drafted two tight ends.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's going to be a very young offense. Christian Watson from last year. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs were both last year.
Luke Musgrove, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
One of their bigger gets.
I forget who the other tight end was that they drafted, but they seem like they're decent. And I like the defensive player they got, Lucas Van Ness. Yeah. So.
And I mean, maybe there won't be the butting of heads if there was that between, the quarterback and the head coach. Maybe, it's definitely going to be is it Florio? Is that his name?
Matt LaFleur.
So maybe it's going to be
I'll get you LaFleur.
Definitely LaFleur gonna be no one I highly doubt Jordan Love is gonna try and change the play at the goal line or something.
Yo, Maddie, I don't think we could do that play.
Yeah, no, I thought he's like, no, I thought it was something better. I'm Jordan Love.
I'm turning you off.
Exactly. Yeah, I highly doubt so. It's gonna be definitely I don't want to give them the out, but if there's definitely going to be some more blame to give on if stuff goes south, yeah, your head coach might be on the chopping block, might be on the hot seat. We'll see how that goes. On to what I'm thinking about the Bears. Maybe, of course, you can give your thoughts on that as well. Just really quick before we get into more thoughts, concerns about the rest of the league. Of course, Vikings and then the Lions. Yeah. Bears. Been saying it for weeks now. Been saying it for a couple weeks now. Of course, this is going to be the season, the prove it season for Justin Fields. And boy, oh boy, he has tons of opportunity, tons of actual help now to get him in there. I love the comparison and what was brought up from tons of analysts. And I think Brian Orlovsky, even this was his main point that He was fourth or fifth in QBR from last season with, a god awful basement dwelling offensive line and wide receivers and skill guys that just non-existent, and a defense that is just not, it wouldn't even be pass rushers and everything. They're just non-existent. The pressure and QB sacks were very lackluster and everything. So with all that, gaining what the Bears did in the offseason, drafting the Tennessee tackle, Nate Davis, and getting him in the offseason as well, acquiring DJ Moore. That'll help Darnell Mooney. We extended Cole Kmet. Robert Tunyon is also getting involved. We have to wait and see on Chase Claypool again, but all that coming together, and of course all the pieces we added on defense: TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds. Oh goodness gracious! Like I got everything listed away. But all that finally, there's some sort of way. Now, I'm not sitting. I would love to sit here and say 14 wins. Realistically, I'm gonna chalk up at least 3 losses. But in my mind,
14.
now, like I said, no, like there's 14 games where it's in my mind, it's kind of a toss up, and I'm not gonna say every single one of them are wins, but that's where we can possibly hit the over it. That's what we get to later. But there's tons of room for improvement. That's what the Bears are gonna be focused on. When wins start to pile up and get there, that's when the Bears can really key in and focus in on the division. And I'll disagree with the odds makers. Being plus 400, give me that. I like that. Give me more. There's probably a little bit higher in some other sports books. From what I saw, that the Bears and Packers were both last at plus 400.
I see the
This
highest odds on FanDuel for 430
There you
for the
go.
Bears.
That This division is as wide open as any division in the league. I have no problem saying that it's really a coin flip. If there was a 4-way sided coin somehow, a dice roll, I don't know, something like that. Whatever has 4 sides. Uh, Either way, like that. Just there's tons of hope but there's not like it's not too much pressure where like, oh, if they don't do it, there just needs to be improvement. There needs to be improvement all the way around. And then that's next year. That's when you talk about actually getting it solidified. But of course, we want to win. We want to win now. We Bears fans want to win and have some sort of success,
I
something
feel
to
like that's what
root
they're
for.
setting up for.
That's exactly what this exoskeleton, what Ryan Poles was able to get together right now. So I'm enjoying it. I've enjoyed what the Bears have done. Uh, of course, we'll get to previewing their schedule and whatnot. Some other things when we get to the win over under on wins and all that jazz. There's tons of hope. There's a lot to get to. So there's a lot of hope and a lot of prosperous things. As long as Fields is the man, and even if there's not, there's still an out, unfortunately. So I want him to be the man. So that's where my head's at. Fields can be the guy. Tons and tons of talent. Of course, if you paid attention, cracked the top 100 list of players. Number 86 above Trevor Lawrence, as some wanted to point out and be all mad and pissy about. Oh well, it's voted on by the players and their peers. So they
They're
thought
more
Fields.
scared of Fields.
Yeah, yeah. Again, finally giving Fields some help and some weapons. Yeah, I think he cracks maybe the top 20. Maybe the top 20 by next year. Who knows? That's where my
That's
head's
a
at.
big jump.
I mean, between the running back room being as solidified as it is, the wide receivers, I'm not going to sit here and say they're number one because obviously I'll give that to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd as like a trio of wide receivers in that wide receiver group. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, obviously. But the Bears have a solid group of guys, and as long as they all get together, have their head on straight, and understand that winning is what's the goal, should be no problem. So maybe someone slap Chase Claypool and get his head on straight. But otherwise, I think everyone's on the right pace. Everyone is where they need to be. So that's basically our impromptu little preview of each of our teams. Of course, like I said, do the Lions live up to the hype? I hope not. Everyone's kind of blowing smoke up their ass and saying that they're going to do this and do that. Everyone was super excited that the Chiefs and the Lions were the opening game on Thursday night. I think the Chiefs are going to absolutely roll through them. I'm pretty sure in Arrowhead, they're going to be getting their rings and all that shit. They're going to be in the brand new sparkling jerseys and all that jazz. Mahomes and Travis Kelce are gonna just roll through that defense. I don't care if they got the tiniest bit better. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be a bloodbath. And then losing Delvin Cook, we'll get to the ad drops for the Vikings. That's the only thing I could really think about with the Vikings was Justin Jefferson. That's what you're going to be looking for, whether you're looking at it for fantasy or just for highlights in general. And that might be about it. Like I don't really there's no other star power. Addison Reed, what was that his name? Hopefully,
The Jordan Addison,
Jordan Addison.
and they got KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. So I mean that's their squad. Alexander Madison is their number one running back. Move. He's better than most, better than others. Either way, if you're good on the questions, notable games, at least from what I've brought together. I mean, straight up, any division game is going to be exciting for every single one of us, for both the Packers and the Bears side, and then of course the Lions and the Viking side, because this division is so up for grabs in my mind. Like I said, I don't think it's as clear cut as the Lions or give it to the Vikings. Like everyone needs to prove it in this division. It's very much up in the air. I got Bears Chiefs week 3. Of course, like I said, when we did the NFC South, Panthers Bears for that same reason. First overall pick versus the team that traded away. Packers side, Packers Raiders on Monday Night Football at Devontae Adams with a revenge game.
Oh yeah,
Lions Chiefs week 1, like I mentioned too, is the very first game of the season. Packers Lions on Thanksgiving. Lions Ravens I thought was pretty interesting, and Lions Cowboys towards the end of the season can be pretty interesting again. If they're in the contention, this could be those two games could just be up in the air. I just thought those were just two matchups we don't usually see, at least to me. I don't know. And
and
then
Packers got the night game on Thanksgiving. Like, ooh,
is that what
man.
it? Oh, I thought it was the day game. My
It says
apologies.
it says it's at 7.
Okay, I might have read what week wrong then, so that's my bad. And then in that case, last one, Vikings Panthers again, something I mentioned with the NFC South, Adam Thielen's revenge game.
No, wait, I'm wrong. You were right. It's at
Okay.
11:30.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Usually they do. Lions are usually in the morning, then the Cowboys at the afternoon, and then the late game is just a toss up between whoever else is left. Yeah, so there's like I said, I'm sure there's a couple other key matchups that we want to throw out there. Just I'll double check. I know the Bears play the Chargers. That ought to be fun again, just to maybe get some sort of sense of where the Bears stand in terms of the tier list and in the league. Yeah, nothing else. Maybe Bears Falcons all the way towards the end of the season. That could be a high scoring affair. I think I might have to hit the over when that time comes on that one.
Bears and Unlimited. I like that.
Yeah, Bears Broncos. And I mean, those are the 3 games where the Chiefs, the Broncos game, and the Chargers game, all in the AFC West. Those are ones at least 2 of them I'm kind of chalking up as losses. I toss just another prove it season again. We'll get to the AFC West eventually, but Broncos are going to need to prove it to me that they're back on track and can win games
Yeah.
consistently. So something there, of course.
It's such a horrible fucking season.
Yeah, and then of course they're starting off losing one of their wide receivers to an ACL injury already, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Tim Patrick. Yeah.
Oh, again, at least in my mind, I think the Seahawks are going to do decent. So maybe the Lions Seahawks week 2 is going to be pretty interesting. Of course, any one of the divisional games, Lions Packers, Packers Bears,
Yeah.
Vikings Bears, Bears Lions, Lions Packers, Lions Vikings, just shit like that.
As us fans, we're always looking forward
Yeah,
to
of course.
those kind of games.
And then all pretty similar across the board. Like the AFC West is going to play the NFC North this year, so just about all of us are playing the Chiefs. Seeing them across the board, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders, pretty good, pretty solid matchups throughout every single week.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedules. Yeah, we basically play the same people.
Yeah,
the Packers
there's
and the
not very
Bears.
many differences. Like I said, maybe the Lions and the Cowboys, Lions and the Ravens. I don't think the Bears play those teams. Yeah, I mean, I can just blaze through what the Bears are doing. Packers, Bucks, Chiefs, Broncos, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Chargers, Saints, Panthers, Lions, Vikings, Lions, Browns, and a flex game, Cardinals, Falcons, Packers. That's why. That's why I have a lot of toss up games, because there's not, if the Bears are who they say they are, then should be in for some solid wins. If not, should be in for an unfortunate season. But that's we're thinking optimistic. We are on the optimistic side.
That's how you have to think.
Absolutely. On to some ad drops for the Bears, and you can help me out on the Packers side. I did a couple some homework on them, so don't worry. But you can, of course, you can fill me in on some of the gaps. Bears side ads, of course, big names: DJ Moore, Robert Tunyon. Just recently, Mercedes Lewis, tight end, 19 years in the league, if I'm not mistaken, and former Packer. Deontay Foreman, guard Nate Davis, and backup QB PJ Walker. I think he's an XFL legend and currently holds the longest throw in the league. Drafting highlights include tackle from Tennessee, Darnell Wright, hopefully going to get us going on that. Running back from the Texas, Roshan Johnson, currently last in the depth chart, but I think he'll climb his way up as the season goes on. I don't think Travis Homer will be that much better, or Travis Ebner either. And a few D linemen as well in the draft class, but all coming. Oh, I actually have a couple more on the defensive side. Tremaine Edmonds, like I made mention to earlier, TJ Edwards, and just this past week, along with Mercedes Lewis, defensive end, Yannick Ngakwe. Awesome. Some solid additions to the Bears. Drops, couple names, but one that stuck out to me the most was quarterback, Trevor Siemian. Oh, so I will remember
He
you.
can go into the sunset in where he grew up in Illinois.
There you go. Those were my ad drops for the Bears. On to the Packers. Like I said, after I go, you can fill me in on maybe some other key acquisitions or some key drops. Adding from the draft, Lucas Van Ness, the linebacker. Luke Musgrove, tight end. That was one of their tight end acquisitions. Those seemed to be the big highlights from the draft.
Who's the other tight end? You know?
I did not write it down, unfortunately.
I'll figure it out. You can keep going.
Yeah. However, they lost a ton, of course, trading away Aaron Rodgers in a solid haul, depending on what you see out of it. You got a first round pick out of it, and I believe you flip that and turn that into one of these tight ends, if I'm not mistaken. Losing also Adrian Amos, went over to the New York Packers. Randall Cobb to the New York Packers. Alan Lazard to the New York Packers. And did you guys also? I believe you lost Zadarius Smith. Is he on the Browns now?
Yeah, he's on. If he left it a while ago,
Oh,
though.
Okay.
He was on the Vikings
Oh,
for.
that's right. I don't know why I thought that. Either way, I
And
think
he
it's
talked
because
so much shit about us. He was on the Viking, like he hates us for some
Oh
reason.
Jesus! I did not. Yeah, that's bad. Bad on me. At least
He pinned the date the Browns play the Packers this year. Like I like of course, like why do you hate us so
Oh my
much?
God! At least that little boo boo right there wasn't as bad as Colin Cowherd's was today. So
Oh
if
my
you know, you
God.
know.
Oh.
Were there any other ads or drops any big ones that I missed?
I mean, yeah, I was looking at the transactions just to refresh my mind, but I mean, like, yeah, like we signed a safety, Jonathan Owens. Like, he used to be on the Texans. The only reason I know him is because he's married to Simone Biles. So
There you
I
go.
heard he's been doing good in practice, so he might be one of the starting safeties. So that's good. And
Solid.
we just got some, again, just like random players. Like I can't even really name you them, but we did sign Jordan Love to a contract extension this year, so they must have saw something in him that they like. So
Sure enough, yeah, definitely. He's got all season to prove. He's got something to do. Yeah, exactly that. Lions, I can get to them. Like I said, if you were good on the ad drops right there.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I just was. Yeah, that's all the ad drops.
For
I'll
sure.
figure out who that fucking tight end was.
Gotcha. I believe, yeah, taken in like the second round or something like that. Either way, Lions drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the bigger running backs taken in the draft this past year. Also, maybe, people have been throwing it around sleeper quarterback wise from that draft as well. Hendon Hooker, question mark, maybe again, throwing that in there. Also, former Bear David Montgomery to go
Hmm.
alongside with Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe helping him out there. Losing, trading away, sending away DeAndre Swift to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jamal Williams, he's on the Saints now. Quintez Cephas was either cut or was released, as well as Jamison Williams. Unfortunately, he will be suspended for the sports gambling. We even made mention to that about a different topic earlier this episode. So looking at that, I believe 6 games, if I'm not mistaken, 8 games. Either way, not good. He still hasn't really gotten his career lifted off the ground before anything. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And then Vikings drafting speedster. If you know, you know. Jordan Addison. He of
Hey, he
course
was saving his dog,
he was
man.
saving his dog. He's saving that damn dog. They released Delvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Eric Kendricks. Those were
Oh,
the big releases on the Vikings side. So that's why I
not
was kind of
good.
throwing out there, like, what's the star power? Like, what is there to look at on the Vikings side other than just the Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson connection? That's, like I said, just something I threw out there.
That
Something I just
connection might not be so special without the surrounding cast.
Yeah,
How
I'm sure. I mean, Kirk Cousins could make, he could somebody else can maybe step up and help out a little bit, but it's I don't know, definitely up there. Let's see MVP odds.
Justin Fields.
That's exactly right. Justin Fields is ninth favorite at plus 2,000. And of course, if you heard the stat or saw the Twitter post or X post, whatever you want to call it, more Fields MVP tickets taken than Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen combined. All 3 of those guys combined, Justin Fields has more MVP tickets taken on him than all 3 of those quarterbacks. Would I advise it? I don't know, but I do like the number. Justin Fields can do all sorts of things. And again, if everything comes up roses for the Bears, I think he'll be that very much the reason for it. So plus 2,000, not the worst. He is also plus 2,000 for Offensive Player of the Year. So something else to consider right there. I believe 5th favorite behind a couple of names. Jared Goff is 14th favorite at plus 4,000. Kirk Cousins is plus 5,000, 20th overall. Jordan Love is plus 6,000, 23rd overall. And of course, if you'd like to make a donation, plus 10,000 for Justin Jefferson. But your money might be best suited in betting on him at Offensive Player of the Year, where he is second favorite at plus 1,300. So again,
Okay.
just behind Jamar Chase at plus 1,100, 1,200, right around there. If you want to get those odds on that, not the worst decision. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be up there. He had 1,800 yards last year and 9 touchdowns. I was
Wow.
looking at some stats last night, so hopefully
Who,
it's right.
Jamar or Justin
Justin
Jefferson?
Jefferson.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson. So up there in a lot of categories, without a doubt, single-handedly at least won them that Bills game. So there's that to consider there. So of course, bet what you will, do what you can, bet responsibly. Of course, on to our any insight, anything you'd be throwing a flyer on MVP wise. I know you threw out Justin Fields.
Yeah, if I had to bet on someone at Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I would hope, even like I said, without me being a Bears fan, I would hope that would probably be what I would go with, anyways. Like that just
He's
makes the
in the
most
best
sense.
situation.
Yeah, I
Is
think so.
and with the potential and ability that he's already proven. I mean, it's just I mean, yes, it's not like rocket science.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. He could possibly be the most sought after, the most like intriguing player to currently be playing. There's so the I'll pull it back because of course, like we just mentioned, for all different reasons, for everything. You know, Justin Jefferson is a freak on offense. Tyreek Hill, he's the cheetah, so fast. Patrick Mahomes does a highlight every time he steps on the field. But you're really pulling it back. I think There's just so much potential in Justin Fields. That's why at any point in time, that's why he was on the list at any like the other top 100 players. Like there's a threat. He is a threat at any point in time to just do something. So give him the opportunity, and finally, hopefully, there's weapons.
Hmm.
Get this season started. Let's go football. Fuck.
The one main thing was his accuracy and his throwing. So if he can figure that out, and if he
Yeah.
has
If
throughout
he
this
can just
offseason,
if he can just pull it back and do the quarterback things, as simple as just getting the ball accurately to a receiver and the receiver actually catching the ball. There's also that part too, and now we got some guys that can do that.
while still having the ability to run and score 60-yard rushing touchdowns when
Something, yeah,
when the pocket's collapsing. I
it's
mean, it's
possible. And like I said, it only the O line just got better, so it can only go up from there. That's why we're talking overs and unders. Bears, Packers, Lions. The lines I saw across the board. You can change them on some sports books, but I'll give you the one, just the baseline that I saw for each team, and whether or not I'll be taking the over under. So for the Bears, I see 7.5.
mhm.
Overs at -130, under at +110. I'm going over without a doubt. There's two, like I said earlier, there's 2 or 3 games where I'm chalking up as losses: Chiefs, Chargers, and maybe the Broncos. They're gonna have to prove it as well. But everything else, every other game in my mind is 50-50. Again, call me naive and stupid and everything else. Call me a blind Bears fan. There's truly, with all these new additions and all these key pieces being changed up, and essentially the culture just being flipped on its head to a new regime. Everything can change. Again, might not be 10, 12 wins overnight in a Super Bowl run. Yeah, as much as that would be great. I would love that. But we just want to win something, get some sort of consistency, and it can start right here. So the Bears, without a doubt, in my mind, can hit over 8 games, if not more. Like I said, tons of other teams that the Bears are running into that need to figure it out or just haven't really got through it. Again, no shade, of course. Well, fuck it, of course, shade. Packers need to figure it out. That's right there. Buccaneers. The Broncos are 50-50. The Bears play the Commanders. They're not, of course, they're favorited for sure because they're in Washington, but only by a point. Just stuff
Hmm.
like that. Of course, the Vikings are still figuring out. The Raiders, the Saints, we'll see how that goes. They're in New Orleans. But the Panthers, young, up and coming, no idea what they're going to do. All these in my mind, 50-50. The Browns, the Cardinals are going to be terrible. Cardinals are going to be so bad
Yeah,
this.
you saw the clip of them in practice.
I did not. I don't know. What are you referring to?
Oh, they're trying to run a play on offense, and he barely got the ball off, and then he threw the ball and he like hit the receiver in the back of the
Oh, Jesus.
head.
So I know that other teams are, they would be looking at their schedule, of course, and they're not looking at the Bears and chalking up like, oh, that's an automatic loss. I'm going to take my day off. No, it's going to be super competitive. The Bears were in games they probably shouldn't have been in last year. They weren't complete blowouts, still losing games, obviously, only winning 3 games. That's what happens. But towards the end of the season, when the offense got going and Justin Fields got his bearings, they were scoring consistently, doing some of the right things, but not being able to put it together because the defense wasn't there. It wasn't all together. So the -130, I can maybe even bump it up a game or something and get some plus money out of it. Maybe like +110 for 8.5 games. Maybe shoot for 9 wins. And hell, that might be even enough to win the division. As bad as that sounds, do I want to win the division with 9 games? No, but winning the division sounds awesome. And again, as young as it is, with tons of time to get in between to make it better. Bears over 7.5, maybe even over 8.5, depending on the price. What are you thinking right there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to look at this as non-biased as possible, but yeah, I think the Bears would have, with what they have, can definitely hit those over. So I will say over.
Yeah. like I said, I can only hope I would be able to peel back the bias and say the same thing. But I would still take the Bears over. A lot of people are. That's why it's a price at the way that it is, a little -130. You're paying a little bit more than you should. Like I said, if you bump it up a game, you might be getting a little bit more, like +100. So either way, seems pretty good. On to the Packers. Packers, I don't know if you saw, I got the same number, same win total.
7.
Bears and Packers at 7.5.
Oh,
Over 7.5 wins was -120. Under +100. Maybe in my mind, again, just being the way that it is, can staying the narrative I've created. Maybe 5 wins. I cannot and will not trust Jordan Love until I see something, anything at all. And I'll leave it open just a little bit to say that, like I said, just if you can prove it and prove me wrong or whatever, like, oh, he's got it, or they're gonna actually win more than 5 games or whatever, actually hit the win total, fine. But I don't see it because he just hasn't done anything. I don't feel like that's such a controversial statement. So hopefully, I know you're gonna be on the side, of course, of over, because that's gonna be room for your squad, but I just don't see it. And like I said, hopefully, even if I peeled back the curtain, even if I wasn't a Bears fan, I think I would say the same thing, but I don't know. Where are you at over under 7.5 wins for your Packers?
I mean, as a Packer fan in me, I want to say over, but realistically, I don't know if we'll have 8 wins, 8+ wins this year. It all depends. I mean, again, it all depends on Jordan Love. I have no clue how he's gonna be. I obviously hope they have a great season. They win a bunch of games, but if I was just a betting guy, unbiased, looking at the Packers from the outside in, I would bet the under because
Yeah,
I would it's plus money, and you were thinking like, I don't know if Jordan Love is good or not. But me as a fan, yeah, I want them to win. Of course I do.
of course. And I'm trying to bring up the schedule just one more time in front of me. But I mean, of course, starting off with the Bears, that's you get that, of course. Bears, Falcons, Saints, Lions, Raiders, Broncos. Within the first 6 games, at best, 3-3,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I don't know.
I was thinking this something similar.
But I mean, realistically, again, like I would say, the Bears get you, the Falcons get you, the Saints might get you. You get them at home though. The Lions might take you. The Raiders is a toss up. The Raiders definitely is a toss up. I think the Packers are favored in that game on the road. Uh, and the Broncos, yeah, yeah. You get the Rams, the Steelers, though. I think the Steelers might be a little bit better than some people think. You play the Chargers as well. Chiefs are the Lions, then the Chiefs, Giants. The Giants are going to be young and hungry. Buccaneers, and that'll be you get the Buccaneers late, so you might be seeing Kyle Trask instead of Baker Mayfield, like the Bears might be
Good.
getting. Good. Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Panthers late, so again, you might be getting young Bryce Young all ready to go, and then of course finishing off with the Vikings and get to be in the first week and get them in the last week. The Bears, 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 Bears. Habada, 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 habada,
Hmm.
Bears. There you go. There you have it. Lions. The Lions have the highest win total in the NFC North at 9.5. Over is at -120. Under at +100. I have it real tight, real close. I have the under for me, 9 wins. It's too close for comfort, so I wouldn't take it personally. So, like I said, too close for comfort. A lot of toss ups, a lot of those matchups, and again, similar like I can't. Are they the number? Are they a good offense? Are they good enough offense to get around their defense that isn't the best? I think Aiden Hutchinson will have a solid season and lock down the front line, but I don't know. Jared Goff, as much as I want to, as soon as like you believe in him and trust him just to be consistent, he then isn't. I don't know. It's up in the air. So the Lions, I have them just a smidgen under over their total. I'm taking the under at 9.5.
It's a close call there.
Too close.
I was I might say under with them too. I mean, 10 wins is a lot of wins, man. And I don't know if the Lions, I mean, they were definitely good last year, but I don't know if they're gonna completely change it around in that type of way.
I wanna believe in the hype because I like the guys on the squad. Of course, you like Dan Campbell. I think a guy like Amon St. Brown is a solid player. Uh, Jamar Gibbs, young in the league, have no idea. David Montgomery, former Bear, want him to do well. And then, of course, Jared Goff seems like a decent guy. Want him to
Decent
do
little guy.
decent little guy. I didn't want to say it like that. Decent guy. And then, like I said, I like Aiden Hutchinson. I was trying to invest into some of his cards at the National, but couldn't find a very good price.
Mm.
But yeah, just stuff like that. Just I nothing on there. Just I don't want to give into the hype because everyone else is on the Lions bandwagon. So that just seems what it is to me. I don't know.
Wow.
So prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Lions, but
Yeah, I
don't.
mean that's how I feel,
Yeah,
especially
prove
with
it.
teams in our
We'll see it
division.
twice. We'll see it twice. Prove it then. Finally, Vikings over under is 8.5, and they're even
No,
Steven at -110. Simply under.
under.
Under. I mean, they were all their one score games, they were 11 wins on one score games last year. I don't think that the Lightning doesn't strike twice in that same sort of sense.
Especially after losing the players they lost.
Losing a ton of players, like I made mention to in the past part. Alexander Madison had shown at times that he could step up and do the exact same thing, if not better than Dalvin Cook. But I don't think you're going to get that over a consistent, 17 games out of the year. He'll go down. Someone will have to back him up too. Will CJ Ham take over? I don't think so. As much as I like that name, but yeah, if again talking about just one, two guys on the wide receiver core, you're gonna have to really look out for. We'll have to see. We're definitely gonna have to see. This is gonna be as tight as it comes when it comes to
It
the
will be
division,
a race. This will be a
without a
fight.
doubt. Every single division game, every single week will be important for every team, without a doubt. And that's a good transition into the division winners section. All the odds right here, and our choices, of course, are obvious, but we'll just, for the sake of it, Lions +140, the Vikings +275, and the Bears and Packers I got at +400. I'm sure you got it, that one site that gets them across the board for it, but around the average of just about all of these. I I would take the Bears, and you're going to take the Packers, and I think that's the end of the conversation right there, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And again,
Go Packo, baby.
I like the price at +400. Leaves it up in the air. It's similar to the NFC South odds, where I think the Saints are favored at +120 or +130, depending on where you got them at. But there's still potential for any one of these teams to come out of the woodwork and actually make a run and get in the playoffs. Just take full control of the division, no problem. So it's up in the air if you want to take the time, take the effort, take the Bears, the Packers around +400. I see the Bears and Packers flip flopping between them being third and fourth, or just being even Steven right there. So seems pretty good to me. Bet responsibly.
With the
Finally, a couple more
Packers.
props. No, bet on the Bears. Finally, some more props. At least I got at least one for each team. I'll start at the bottom, just the least interesting one, and I'll move up to the top, which it's gonna be the Bears. Vikings, I just got Justin Jefferson hitting his over on his yardage at +14 at over 1,400.5 yards at -120. Hit 1,800. He's gone up every single year since this rookie year. It's gone from 13 to 14.5 to 18,000,
Yeah, he wanted
1,800 yards.
2,000 last year.
Yeah.
Bad.
So there's some, I think he's +130 to crack 1,500 yards this year. So that's something else you can consider. Again, and give out the odds for him to be offensive player of the year at +1,300. Something else, something very much to consider in all those props right there. Lions side of things, I have Amon St. Brown. I like him to hit his yardage over
Mm.
similar. He had about 1,300 last year and didn't play every single game. So over 1,050.5 yards receiving is -115 for Amon St. Brown. I also have him hitting his over on his touchdowns. Similar, has gone up every single year and is averaged right around the same. So over 5.5 touchdowns at -125. I like that. For the Packers, I have the punt returner Nixon to record a
Yeah.
punt or kickoff return for a touchdown in any game throughout the season at -120.
Wow.
You could
It's
also,
minus
it is
120.
-120. It's just
That's
because I
ridiculous.
know, but it's very likely he's gonna get one, and it saves me all the effort of, you can see it in some sort of ways because I have it for Cole Kmet too. Uh, do you want to risk betting on him to score a touchdown, anytime touchdown every single week, and potentially missing out, or when he does finally crack one, you're like, oh, I missed that week. Oh wait, no, I got him at -120 at any time throughout the season. Not the worst. Not the worst.
Wait, so you could just score a touchdown? It
No, no,
doesn't have
just
to.
it has to be a punt or kickoff return
Oh,
touchdown.
that's tough.
It is tough.
It's a
Definitely is.
tough thing to do,
Yes,
man.
but throughout the course of the season, and he's one of the better. I'll give it to him. One of the better returners. And he was in the Pro Bowl for it, for what it's worth. And I know it's a flag game now, but it's still
One
good
of
to
the
be
bright
nominated,
spots of the team last year, for
without a
sure.
doubt. Finally, Bears prop wise, I think I have two. Any player to have 10 plus regular season rush or receiving touchdowns at +500. Cole Kmet was right there, right around 8. Of course, getting DJ Moore, that could be a plus. Justin Fields could do it himself if he wants to recreate what he did last year, rushing wise, get 10 rushing touchdowns. Khalil Herbert could get 10. Deontay Foreman. Tons of guys in my mind that had the potential. Not every single one are going to do it. I'll cross my fingers and know that they all do it, but at least one of them could do it. And then to follow that up, if you want to double down, if you think it's going to be Cole Kmet to basically repeat what he did last year, they have him at 8+ touchdowns at +300. Again, at those odds, you can kind of decide if you just want to, maybe bet on him every single week to score a touchdown, an anytime touchdown. But those odds, I don't think you're going to get +300 every single week. I don't know. It's up in the air depending on what sports book. So that's where my head is at. If you want to either bank on him to get the 8 throughout the season +300, or if you want to roll the dice every single week, of course, bet responsibly. But anytime touchdown for Cole Kmet seems like pretty good. I think it'd be a good, solid red zone target for Justin Fields and the boys throughout the season.
Mm.
That was, at least from what my notes are, that's everything I got down for this NFC North preview. I gotta say, like I said, overall, it's up in the air. And I would love to say good luck to the rest of the teams, but fuck you. I hope the Bears stomp a whole mud hole in all your asses. So there you go. There's that. Uh, without
And
any
me as
further
well.
ado, there you go. Right back at me. Final thoughts, questions, concerns on the NFC North, my friend?
It's gonna be one hell of a ride, and I'm gonna be there for it through thick and thin.
Without a doubt. Let's go ahead. If you're good on that, we can spin the wheel. We can figure out what division we will be talking about next week. Let me edit this one, get the NFC North out of there. We're down to 3 AFC divisions and 1 NFC West, or at 1
Wow.
NFC squad. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel, figure out who we got next. Let me go ahead and turn on the sound so you know it's spinning on its final little spins. Oh boy. Someone we've been talking about a lot of talk. They actually throughout this episode. The AFC West.
Wow.
The AFC West. The Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders.
That's
All
cool.
talking about them next week. Ought to be pretty fun. I mean, tons and tons of stars, of course, in that jam-packed division, that AFC West division.
Oh yeah.
Should be great. Should be great. Of course, I've like how we've been diving in and breaking down these divisions. So cannot wait. Thought that would be fun. We can blast if you're good on the NFC North and of course the AFC West. We'll be getting to that next week. We can blast through a couple of NFL news things around the league before we get to our wrestling portion and wrap this bad boy up. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Coolio. Did you check out the Hall of Fame game at all? Did you see anything from that?
Um, I saw bits and pieces. I really saw the play of Aaron Rodgers helping Zach Wilson call a play during the game, and he's like, "Throw it to him 40 yards," and it ended up
Oh,
working.
that was Aaron Rodgers' play.
Yeah.
You're taking it away from Zach.
No, Aaron Rodgers is the reason that happened.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, we were at the Thunderbolts game, so of course there was literally anything
That
else
was
better to
awesome.
do. That was way more exciting than the Hall of Fame game, personally. But yeah,
I
just
know this Browns quarterback did good. That's
yeah,
so.
DTR, actually coming in, he laid down a block, and that ended up being the running back ran in the end zone for like a 15-yard touchdown, and then he threw like a 22-yard slant for a touchdown. So pretty good little debut, getting some NFL reps for uh Duncan or Daniel Thompson Robinson or something like that. DTR. That ought to be cool. Either way, yeah. Overall, so I hope that was fun. Hopefully, the Hall of Fame, the actual ceremony was cool. Of course, Darrell Revis went in. Uh, Joe Thomas, Cleveland Brown, Darrell Revis, the New York Jets. That's probably why these two teams played. Who else? Rondé Barber went in, if I'm not mistaken. A couple other big names, of course. So that was basically it Hall of Fame wise. What was the final? I think the Browns won like 21-16. Nothing
Yeah, the
too
Browns
crazy.
did win. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just mostly on the DTR guy, but just that was of course the big thing. Football is back. Football is in the air. First thing we've had in a long time, and of course the countdown between. Now we get football for the rest for
Till
24 or 5 straight
February.
weeks.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, we're locked in and loaded. We cannot wait. Because we got between that, we also got Hard Knocks clips were surfacing. I know we got Hard Knocks tonight. The
Yes,
Jets
sir.
also released some sort of YouTube 45-minute long thing on their YouTube page. So that was pretty hype. I think it's called like Soaring or Flying High, or that's the Jet. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what it is. It seemed pretty cool. I'm not gonna watch all 40 minutes because I'm just gonna commit my time to the Hard Knocks. I feel like that's the better way to go from it. So either way,
yeah.
I know just we brought it up and previewed it before, but just going into tonight, we're hyped. We're ready to go for Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah. I have anything football. I always give it to me all.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Like I said, whether people said it before, so maybe not the most original, but this team will be one of the most interesting teams to watch. Whether you're gonna hate watch them for if you don't like Aaron Rodgers, you just don't like the Jets in general, or you're just it's simple as that. You just want to see the new transition from new quarterback to just a whole brand new squad. You want to see, you're just and then if you're just completely just outside looking in, nothing. No strings attached to anything at all. You just want to watch good, interesting football. That's probably where it's going to be at. So the Jets, it's gonna be a solid squad to watch throughout the
Oh,
entire
I
game.
can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers tonight. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna be playing like sad music, talking about his time in Green Bay.
And they're
Dun,
just gonna
dun,
be cutting
dun.
to him playing golf or something, just not caring. I don't know. Oh, you guys are still here. He's gonna be smoking crack or something. Whatever he's into this summer.
What?
He's a drug addict. Allegedly, I've got to throw in allegedly so I don't get sued. Uh
Oh, you guys, yeah, you didn't leave yet? What?
oh,
Doing
you
some
didn't.
ayahuasca
I'm
over here.
just. What are you doing, Aaron Rodgers? Oh, I'm just putting some LSD into my eyeballs. Just
What?
that's what I like to do.
You
I
want
like
some?
want some, Mr. Cameraman, Mr. Boom Operator. Boom, boom, boom.
Relax.
He just walks into his interview. Welcome to Pillow World, guys. He just fucking sprawled out on the ground. Aaron, can you put on a robe, Mr. Rogers?
What's a
No.
robe?
Yeah. Who needs clothes when you got skin? Oh God. Yeah, it's gonna get creepy.
No, it isn't.
I know. No, it'll be
Oh,
fine. It'll be fun. I know kind of skimmed over it a little bit in the ad drops, but the big one for the Bears for sure. Yannick Ngakwe to the Bears as well as Mercedes Lewis. You know, he'll definitely help on the tight end side, but of
he'll
course,
be
like I said,
blocking. That's what he'll be
oh,
doing.
I think so. Yeah, definitely gonna get in there, block some people. But Yannick Ngakwe, solid addition for the Bears. Got him on the cheaper end, 10.5 million for a year. From past reports, you know, Yannick Ngakwe's been on, you know, maybe not the best character wise, of course, but getting him on a short stint, he can either prove himself or if he just doesn't show up, he's gone after 1 year. So not the worst, not the best. Definitely can improve on the rushing side of rushing the running back and not just the quarterback. But from what we understand, he was said that he's most likely going to be an every down guy. So not just going to be in different packages, kind of like what Khalil Mack saw some towards the end of his stint. I like this. Good acquisition, good solid guy, and of course, someone for all these young Bears defensive linemen that was drafted this year. Someone that they can get some sort of insight from and build upon from that. And of course, like I said, if we can get him going, has a solid season, resign him and extend him. So liking that. And of course, Mercedes Lewis, like you just mentioned, older, wiser, helping out the tight ends, Cole Kmet and Robert Tunyon on that side of things. Going to be laying down the law, laying down some blocks, and maybe, you know, scoring an anytime touchdown at towards he'll do one of those where he
No.
gets like 2 receptions for 3 yards and 1 touchdown. I feel I that that's gonna be one of his box score days. I feel it in the back of my bones. Well, there you
Mercedes
go.
Lewis, the only first round player that ever got a touchdown thrown to him by Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Yeah. That is something. That's like one of those dozen questions. It's gonna be definitely one of those in the football category of like pop quizzes and shit.
So fucking ridiculous. Yeah,
I
I
love
like
it.
so fucking
I love it.
stupid, dude.
I love that that's truth. You put that on that's a Snapple fact, my friend.
That's disgusting. That's true.
Deal with it. On some lighter side, on some unfortunate things. Steve Mongo McMichael. I actually got his little, hopefully it's gonna take down my lights, but
Oh,
either way, signed autograph, right? But unfortunately not doing so well. I believe he was diagnosed with ALS some odd years ago, about some time ago, and just he's fallen under some harder times. He's in the ICU, unfortunately. So a lot of the Bears guys came to see him some time ago. It was on Twitter and whatnot, or X or whatever. Super unfortunate. Again, just this is a awful disease. This caught one of my grandfathers some time ago, and just it really just it strips away everything about the person. It hurts. It hurts around you. So definitely tough go. Wishing still for the best, but of course it's gonna be super unfortunate. And just you always just want to remember the good times, of course. Always remember what he still was and who he still is, and not for these last few years. So Steve Mongo McMichael, we love you. Of course, not only just for helping out and doing what you did on the Bears, getting the ring, doing what you did on the wrestling side of things as well. So that was fun jazz. So loved it. I'm gonna miss you. I don't want to put that all just yet and be on the darker side of things, but it is tough when you see stuff like this. So Steve Michael
thoughts and
McMichael,
prayers,
yeah,
man.
of course, without a doubt. I just didn't want to end the football side of things on a bad note, on a sour note. Just wanted to end it on something that broke actually today. Kareem Hunt and Anthony Barr signing with the Saints. We did our NFC South some like 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So didn't get to that because it just broke now. So does anything thoughts change? Your betting wise, anything that you want to take back maybe or add to from our NFC South preview on the Saints?
I mean, Anthony Barr, he's an old. I mean, He's done stuff in the past, so it'll be a good veteran to add. I mean, he can still play well, I bet, for them. And I mean, Kareem Hunt is really a big, since they're not going to have Kamara
Yeah, that was.
for.
I think that kind of buried the lead on that one. That was ultimately what came down. I broke that on the Friday live show. That's why I kind of forgot. But yes, Alvin Kamara officially suspended for 3 days by the 3 games, not 3 days, 3 games by the
But
league. So
you're,
yes, Kareem Hunt will have to step in.
you're going to have a problem once Kamara comes back, because then you're going to have Kamara, Kareem Hunt, and Jamal Williams on your team.
Yeah, I
So
mean, it might be a good problem, but definitely fantasy wise, you might have to back it up and be like, hey, that's a lot of Saints running backs,
in
a lot of
fantasy,
mouths
I
to
would not
feed.
want any of those
Yeah, that
running backs.
might be a step away situation for a couple things, but of course, all sorts of things happen, maybe trades or even unfortunately injuries do occur throughout the season, so
I
definitely
actually
be careful.
saw something too where Kamara didn't officially sign yet. I saw
Oh
Adam
wow.
Schefter say that like he just had a really good meeting with the Saints and he's meeting with the Colts tomorrow. So I guess that he's not officially signed with the Saints yet, but
I
it seems like it's in that general direction.
Yeah, I guess so. I actually didn't see anything on that. So yeah, you're
Yeah, I mean if he's signed with the Colts, that would be yeah, free agent running back Kareem Hunt was called a great visit with the Saints and is now on his way to Indianapolis to meet with the Colts on Wednesday. So if he signed with the Colts, I mean, I feel like that would be a better option for him, just so he can get more opportunities to play. I mean, you're only going to get so much time on the Saints with the amount of running backs that they have. I mean, him and Jonathan Taylor would be a nice 1-2 punch,
that would be crazy.
even if Jonathan Taylor comes back this season. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh boy. It's a lot of stuff to unfold, a lot of stuff I cannot wait for just for football season to get to. Oh
him
boy,
and
oh
Jonathan
boy.
Taylor would be a greasy running back
Oh,
duo.
without a doubt. I mean, that would be oh man, I couldn't imagine a much like more hyped up and better duo. I mean, yeah, I
As
mean,
of
of course, yeah, the bias in us would probably say both of our teams respectively, but yeah, that'd be insane.
It'd be
Uh,
disgusting for sure.
yeah, I'm really trying to think. I mean, Cook and Madison were pretty decent last
I
year.
mean, again, when Hunt was with Chubb, I mean, they were both disgusting. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, that's just what happens when Kareem Hunt comes in there. Oh boy, yeah, tons of stuff to look forward to. Definitely coming up in the NFL season. Cannot wait.
oh
If you're good
yeah,
on NFL news, notes, and everything, all stories from the weekend, we can blast through some wrestling, finish up with all those stories that we got there, some SummerSlam results, and if we got a couple minutes, like I said, maybe we can dive into a debate, but we'll see how the time goes.
sounds
Uh,
good.
yeah. So quickly, just kind of get into what happened over the weekend, whatever, whatnot. So AEW wise, all 4 members of the Elite have renewed their contracts for multiple years. Good, bad, love it, hate it. What are your thoughts, Mikey?
Do I hate it?
I gotta throw it out there.
I fucking love it.
I know. Just gotta ask.
Oh, fucking, fuck you, Cody.
How's
That's
your
AEW.
documentary going, you prick?
Yeah, how many views you got on that, you dumb fuck? I AEW is this, I mean, we've been here since the beginning, man. We've literally been here. I remember the press conference like it was yesterday in Jacksonville. Chris Jericho, I am all elite. Uh, these guys were the original elite. They started this shit, not Cody. Don't let that WWE propaganda trick you. It's these guys right here. They are the foundation of all elite wrestling. And like Matt Jackson said, if you take the foundation out from a house, it eventually collapses.
That's what I wanted to get to. I like that tweet that he put or his Instagram post, whichever one it was. That was the exact thing. And I have to agree without a doubt. This was built on them, built around a lot of their ideas and a lot of just their and again, we saw it. I didn't watch a lot of that AEW backstage thing, but the first episode, when they come back from their suspension and whatnot, it's clear you can't fake what those authentic, real meetings of them shaking up with people, like their energy changed how it was. So yes, having them back is nothing but positive. Again, you could flip it all which way, whether you're a collider or just if you're a CM Punk guy. Both of us are both here. We're on both sides of those cards. So yes, we both, of course, we're gonna enjoy that the Elite is there. They're gonna be there for a long time, and yes, that's exactly that. They're part of the backbone that is AEW. So long, they keep going with it.
Yeah. They seem, yeah, and like you said, everyone's genuinely happy there. And RVD, there was just a report of him earlier saying that everyone just seems like they're genuinely happy in AEW walking around. It's not like a cutthroat locker room like it is with WWE. I feel like it's just more fun in AEW. And yeah, for like I see people I'm because there's just always haters, and like you said, like when they came back and everyone was so happy, and it's like people like always will be like staged, or it's like no, it isn't. Like not everything in wrestling is fake. Like people just maybe they actually enjoy seeing each other, or like I saw a clip of Kenny and Sasha seeing each other in the Tokyo Dome, and like people were like, "This is so fake." Like,
Like,
what do
dude,
you
it's
mean? Like they're just
everybody. Like, it's not like every time. Like every time they have an interaction, they're genuinely excited to see each other. Like the feeling is go both ways. Like that's why, again, like as much as the talking heads want to say, "Oh, they're shitheads for doing this," or they're again throwing around they're toxic to the wrestling community. Clearly not, because they're mutually loved and respected by their peers. So it's kind of hard to say that. Again, if you want to take the podcasting head and numerous ways, if you think it's just Jim Cornette or anybody else that does these podcasts, uh, you can take their word for it, or you can take the people that actually work with them's word for it, something like that. I don't know. I think it's again, you can also look at it under the light of, oh, they're paid by these guys, so of course they're going to say nice things about them. They're not paid to say nice things about them. It's the wrestling business. It can go either way. So I'm going off on a tangent. Of course, this is great that the Elite are back for a decent amount of time, and just again, not water under the bridge, but we're set up for eventually, like clear heads can prevail at the end of all this shenanigans and tomfoolery that happened in past episodes. So
oh, we'll definitely get Young Bucks and CM Punk
I mean, I think the
sometime down the
rumor is
road.
that All In FTR Young Bucks, if they can flip that. I don't that wasn't even yeah, obviously they don't really necessarily bash heads and don't like each other, but there's
They
some. What's up?
FTR called them out on Collision. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. Setting it up. That's what I like to see. Let's see here. Of course, you made mention to it, like you just said, RVD in the backstage area. RVD was on AEW. I loved that he was there. Loved that he got the Pantera Walk ECW entrance, of course. Uh, it came with a little bit for me, as like I liked it. Of course, it only took it away from me because of course the internet was like buzzing, like, oh, RVD's gonna be on AEW, RVD's gonna do this, RVD. That's the only, if that's the worst part of it, I'll take that. That's just what comes with living in
Just
this
the
day and
day and
age.
age. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
it
about
comes
to
with
say.
living in this day. Like that's just gonna happen. It's unfortunate. It sucks balls, but I gotta roll with it. I hope that didn't take it, just damper it a little bit. But love seeing RVD, and if you saw the video, still in full form, he was stoned to the fucking bone on
Yeah.
Dynamite in the
Yes, he was.
yeah, coming outside. You could see it in his face right there behind you. And in the interview, he looked like he took another probably dab or pre-roll right before he did the Renee Paquette interview. So he's enjoying his time for
I'd
sure
like
in
to imagine
AEW.
RVD ripping dabs before he walked out, like in his locker room. Just like,
He's like, oh
let's do
shit, they're playing
this.
my song.
Tony, you want some of this? I'll be right back.
Here, Tony, hold this. And just a whole fucking, yeah, it's a whole pre-roll.
All right,
So
RVD, 1 second.
yeah, there you
I'll be
go.
right over there.
Oh, you're doing that stuff? All right. No, either way, yeah. RVD, that's gonna be fun. I think it'll be what him and Jungle Boy or Jack Perry, excuse me,
Yeah.
for the FTW title.
How dare you?
Ugh. He's a jungle man now. He's not just a jungle boy. Uh, so Jungle Boy, God damn it, Jack Perry gonna take on RVD. That's gonna be fun. I like this this Jack Perry turning heel. That was pretty cool. I don't know. That was all fine and dandy. Lastly, on the AEW side of things, I got AEW Fight Forever. A DLC has been confirmed, kind of through the wickets, through a little bit of, looking through some social media and some posts. Alec Bowen's social media may have confirmed exactly that the Acclaimed may have just been wrapping up doing some vocal, some voice tests and everything for the game. So eventually down the line, gonna get a DLC, and the Acclaimed will be a part of that. So gonna be
Sweet.
looking forward to that. So again, a lot of people were saying because they've been on the roster since late 2020, why weren't they in the original game? The whole game was it was kind of a lot of things were up in the air, So glad that they're gonna be eventually able to add on to the DLCs, maybe some other mini games and fixing any other bugs that seems to be going on in that game. So any thoughts, questions, concerns, anything like in that DLC? What do we think on that?
Yeah, and that was one thing I said. I was like, this roster's pretty limited. I was like, why aren't some of these people that have been AEW since the beginning not in the game? So yeah, I'm glad to see that for sure.
Yeah. Oh, alrighty. That was on the AEW side of things. On to the WWE side of things. Just to quickly, because we basically previewed SummerSlam somewhat last week. Might as well
I'll be right
go.
back real fast.
No problem, no problem. I'll go ahead in that case. I'll give you my thoughts, my concerns on just from the beginning to the end, from opener to close. Let's start off exactly with the opener. It was Ricochet and Logan Paul. Uh, let's see. Everyone, and I mean everyone, just the online community and just people I've been talking to in person, liking Logan Paul, but I thought he was sandbagging Ricochet. A lot of bumps that didn't look right. A lot of moves that didn't. Talking Logan Paul and Ricochet just to
Okay.
open up the contest. I thought he was sandbagging Ricochet most of the match. A lot of bumps and a lot of things that looked awkward. But of course, when Logan Paul was set up to do some damage on Ricochet, he knew exactly what to do and he knew how to perform it perfectly. So I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, but like I said, every time Ricochet put on some offense and put on a move, it did not look exactly perfect. And then Logan Paul was able to turn the tables and look so good when he was putting on the offense.
Fuck him.
Yeah, he gets the win. He gets at least Ricochet gets the out on a dirty win. He gets clobbered with the brass
Brass
knuckles.
knuckles.
Yeah, instead of just having his bionic plated hand.
Yeah, titanium
which
screws.
which
That
it's a broken hand, but that somehow makes it stronger.
like he's Luke Skywalker or
Yeah,
something.
so ridiculous. But again, that's what you get when you get a Logan Paul, when you get one of the Paul brothers involved. Again, not huge. I wish Ricochet would be getting over. I wish so much more for him, but it is still what it is.
Fuck him. I hate that Logan Paul gets another platform to trick people.
Yeah,
A
absolutely. I
bunch
mean,
of WWE marks like, oh, Logan Paul's great. No, he's a horrible person, and he's gonna make millions of dollars from this for what?
yeah. I mean, he gets another opportunity to sell his juice that's getting
I guess, yeah,
by
again,
the
I mean, we've said
FDA.
it before. Yeah, just rob people, scam people, release products that are faulty, and this is that's how you get a contract to the WWE, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
And then
Record
between
dead
him,
bodies in the forest, or do all of these horrible things throughout your career, and yeah, here you go.
and then your brother
You get
just beats
signed
Nate
to,
Diaz.
yeah.
Your brother beats Nate Diaz in most likely one of the worst fights of the year, from what I
Oh,
was told. I don't know. Again, I wasn't gonna waste my money on that if you
ooh.
maybe did that or just streamed it live. Jake Paul gets the win on Nate Diaz. Who cares? Fight a real boxer. Yeah, no real thoughts there. Like I said, I thought Logan Paul sandbagged. He did a couple very athletic. Not going to take that away from him, but it's needs still room for improvement. And I can't separate the art from the artist. Logan Paul is definitely an ass wipe. Can't get around that. Following Logan Paul's dirty win, Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar, and what others again were saying, wow, what a performance by Cody Rhodes. Looked pretty pathetic, like just just getting whipped around, thrown around, tossed around. I was never really, in that sense of like, hey, rah 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 rah, let's root for Cody. I feel so sympathetic for Cody, just because I can't. So that's just how it's gonna be. The best part was obviously Brock Lesnar tearing his shorts apart, and we were able to see his balls. That was funny. I like that one. I don't know if you saw that edit from when Triple H went to like the Tough Enough place. He's like, "Hey, your boxer shorts. I can see where your testicles hanging out." And then he did that with Brock Lesnar. So there was that.
I know the clip. So.
Yeah. So Rhodes gets the win over Lesnar. Lesnar pats him on the back and says, hey, after I guess him beating the shit out of him, that it's all okay now.
I respect you.
Yeah, it took like 3 ass whoopings to finally be able to respect each other. Whatever, that's that storyline. Little brother, little brother, big brother, little brother in that sort of sense, I guess.
There you go.
What's
Cody.
next for Lesnar? I don't care. What's next for Rhodes? Most likely just getting set up for more storyline, more of his story. And when Roman Reigns gets back from his injury, we'll get Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Let's see. Let's see. What was next? What was it? Ronda and Baszler? Was that one next? That's fine. Even if it wasn't, we can just plow through it. It was boring. It was awful. Doing an MMA style fight. I mean, the people going to the bathroom. That was the entire summary of that match. The droves of people leaving to go to the bathroom. It was, like I said, wasn't interesting. They dropped the ball on Ronda Rousey. No one really wanted to see it. And congratulations to Shayna Baszler, but ultimately you got a black eye for a match that no one's gonna care about. So
that'll be Ronda Rousey's last match. It seems like.
Yeah. So coming in, maybe her WrestleMania debut. Some have argued maybe the best of all time, but it all downhill from there. If it's all downhill from your debut, that is not a good overall arcing career. So yeah, pretty brutal, pretty bad. SummerSlam Battle Royal. This is the Battle Royal in my mind of what could have beens, not has-beens just yet, but the what could have beens, including like Matt Riddle, Chad Gable was in there, who almost made me care, but not even close. Honestly, that was such a long. That made us realize how long the entrance that ramp truly was, because it took him 3.5 fucking minutes to get down there. To the point where the guys were like, "Do we just beat each other up now? Yeah, all right, we're just gonna do that now," because they did a whole thing at the beginning with MVP. Doing
I remember all of us, we were all watching it and everyone was just like, is he still not in the ring yet?
He's still walking. It was like the Spaceballs thing with the spaceship. It's still coming. It's still coming. So LA Knight gets the win right there. A lot of people were chalking that up just for an easy win for LA Knight. There was no special spots to me in my mind. Like I said, Miz looked like an idiot. That's bound to happen. And then of course just burying a ton of people in the process.
Shinsuke Nakamura just like an afterthought in this battle.
Yeah, that
it's
hurts.
Like it's kind of sad. Like
it's
honestly,
so disrespectful. Between him, AJ Styles was in that match. I pulled you to the side. I'm like, I feel so bad. It's good for him that he's able to pay. Like, he's gotten such a big money. He's got a big family, so a lot of mouths to feed. So I understand why AJ Styles gets the pass. If there's any person that gets a pass for taking WWE money, it's AJ Styles.
He's a family man.
With that, and he ate it for years in TNA, being the guy and just never really truly breaking through because TNA was just so awful at booking.
I mean, it's how it is, and
It's so
No,
much
keep
different
going.
now than what it was back then because they had Dixie Carter and Vince Russo and, towards the end, Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. It was just a whole plethora and mix-mash of awful ideas and terrible booking and shit wrestling. But at the end of the day, AJ Styles was the star of it all, and whatever he was involved in was must watch. So again, if there's anybody that deserves to sit back and collect a paycheck from any league, from any company, it's AJ Styles. He will always have my respect for that. So I mean, he carried that company for years. I mean, it's him. It deserves that. So again, he deserves to make the WWE money, but it's a shame that he can't be in AEW making some glorious dream matches, truly dream matches. We whore out that word, but dream matches could be used when it would be him, AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega, or AJ Styles against Danielson, or AJ Styles against Okada. Again, I mean, we've seen some of those before, but seeing them again, why not? Roll it back. Sorry, on a tangent, but that's just what happens when you get these battle royals. You want to see these guys do well.
Yeah.
That's what I pulled away from that. Baszler, Paul. Let me see. After that was Gunther McIntyre.
Gunther.
Solid. Can't go wrong either which way. Again, in my mind, these guys should be going longer. This should have been given the 45-minute slot, not Roman Reigns versus Jey
Oh
Uso.
gosh.
Give these guys the chops, give these guys the weapons, and have them go to town. But they get like a 12-minute match. Fine, I liked it. Competitive, and they chopped the shit out of each other. And Gunther made Drew McIntyre look good in his return. McIntyre, of course, made Gunther look good. So can't complain either which way. Probably the better, if not the best match on the card from that night. Any thoughts
Yeah.
right there?
Um. Yeah, I definitely thought that match was decent. Yeah, I mean, comparing to how the whole night went, just like how you said, yeah, one of the better matches for sure.
Yeah. And I hate that thing, that the popular thing that was going on Twitter is like the the expectation versus the reality. Like people on SummerSlam, like I don't think it's a stretch to expect good wrestling in one of the big main four pay-per-views
I
that
mean, yeah,
goes
it's
on throughout
supposed to
the
be
year.
one of their big shows.
Yeah. And on paper, I said this last week, solid card. Tons of potential for these guys to pull through and get through. But I'm looking at it right now, SummerSlam, half of these people weren't even in the card. Like Ronda Rousey, excuse me, Rhea Ripley. She was just there to manage, kinda to be there in a couple spots for Finn Balor and Seth Rollins' match. Rey Mysterio wasn't there. I think he's injured. Either way, like I said, the rest of them that were there didn't really show up in terms of their matchup. Well, what were we on? Finished the Gunther McIntyre.
Yeah,
That was
Gunther
solid.
McIntyre, fun match.
After that was Rollins and Finn Balor.
Hmm.
Again, solid. Did not like the ending. Too much going on in my mind. Either shit or get off the pot with this money in the bank. And I'm gonna be on the side of the internet here. Finn Balor deserves better. This was his time to win the title, and they're just lingering it on and keeping the carrot dangled in front of his face. It should have went to him, and you could have went either which way. Could have had the storyline of Seth Rollins retains, and now it's got this exactly what they're doing with Damian Priest. There's going to be turmoil within the Judgment Day either way, but it would have made more sense if Finn Balor actually wins the title. Now they have control of both, but then there's the looming idea of Damian Priest could turn on him at any time and win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
fucked up.
It seems like it's pretty simple, pretty easy, but they kind of just flushed it all away and fucked it up right there.
This was the easiest decision ever. Like were whole pushing it 7 years in the making. Finn Balor beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam 7 years ago. Has
And
to
what a
give up the
pop it would have
title.
gotten. What a pop it
Yeah,
doesn't matter where. It would have
with
been
how
something for these guys to cheer for. They were dead all
I was gonna
fucking
say,
night.
with how quiet the crowd was, they were hyped for the near falls at the end of this match. And they made it seem like Finn Balor was gonna win multiple times, and they just didn't pull the trigger. It's again just seems so easy this week. He got stripped of the title from injury, and this was like a perfect chance to let the story culminate. Again, this WWE doesn't like to finish stories for some reason. I don't know. This is a perfect ending to that story, and they completely blew it. It could have, like you said, it could have built for perfect stuff. Finn, Rhea, and Dominic would have all had titles, and Damian Priest would just be there like,
The
well,
odd man
shit.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna cash in on one of you fuckers at some
Yeah.
point. So it's like it just would have added a cool
Cashes in
dynamic.
on Rhea.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
we
they
said that
were.
last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we were joking around watching. Yeah. um yeah, it just seems so simple. I wanted Finn Balor to win. I wanted him to win when they fought in Saudi Arabia. I think it was their last match, but
Yeah.
it's just a missed opportunity, which WWE seems to do plethora of times. So
Then, now, forever, we'll miss opportunities. That should be
yeah,
your motto.
we could talk for all night about missed
Yeah,
opportunities in
we
WWE
can
if
have
we
a
want.
whole episode dedicated to open-ended storylines and stuff that just left undone and what could have been better. Oh yeah, we can sit here for days on that.
So yeah, I guess I'm not surprised because it's
Just
WWE,
not surprised,
but
just disappointed.
disappointed. Yeah.
Not surprised, just disappointed. On to Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair. And honestly, this may have been the biggest pop and one of the better endings, not the best overall match in terms of execution. Some pretty solid spots, a little discombobulated at some points, and the knee injury, whether or not that good sell, good got us all on our part, and they put up the X and all
Yeah.
that shit. Uh, but then later comes in, cooks up the figure eight, if I'm not mistaken, that they had.
Hmm.
Asuka with the mist, and that blows that up. And then so it was a good finish because that led to Bianca getting the roll up on Asuka, even though she was still in the figure eight. It still looked cool. But then, of course, Io Sky coming in, cashing in her women's Money in the Bank briefcase. That was the big highlight. She is now the women's world champion after, I don't want to say it was all for nothing, but kind of all for nothing. Pretty solid, okay matchup. Like I said, there was a lot of parts that were like, oh my god, what the hell was
Definitely.
that?
Definitely.
Definitely some miscommunications, some miscalculations, some botches, of course. You're going to get that from time to time, but still better than most. And the ending, as crazy it was, executed well. And then, of course, EO Sky coming in for the Money in the Bank cash in. Always exciting for a cash in. So,
Yeah.
one of the better highlights. Of course, like I said, not the better matchup, but better highlight of the night.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just the money and the cash ins are always hype.
Oh,
So
yeah.
especially when the crowd is going wild like that, it's awesome.
Big time. Big time. And this wrapped up with the tribal combat for the
Oh,
undisputed WWE Universal
and
Champion.
WWE just making, I guess wrestling, we like to make up names for matches, and even
Yeah,
though
tribal
it's
combat, just a long way of saying no
no DQ.
DQ. So, of
Yeah.
course, Jim Cornette would say lazy booking. I would use that on the live show. But exactly was that just a furniture match, busting out the chairs and the tables, going into the crowd, Solo Sokoa throwing the spike and throwing them through tables, more tables, more chairs, and the big twist, the big M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end. It's none other than, well, we thought it was actually we thought it was somehow Jay Uso or a different Uso altogether, but no, it was just Jimmy or the brother. Yeah, we were joking. We thought it was gonna be like that Doink the Clown thing, near each other, and they're actually the same person. Uh, but no, not another Uso, not another Fatu or anybody like that. Just the same convoluted all the people coming together, all the same. No one new into this storyline. I said it a while back, and I'll agree. And now finally, some other people are finally coming around to it. His bloodline story has jumped the shark without a doubt.
Yeah.
I have now, if there's any at all, there's all interest is gone without a doubt in my mind. And of course, this is somehow going to lead to Jimmy versus Jay, which nobody wanted. Everyone wanted them to stick together, and they probably either wanted Jimmy or Jay to win one of the titles, and now they have to fight one of each other. And
Cow's
I don't,
been milked.
yeah,
The train's left the station.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
now people are like, can't wait for Jimmy and Jay at WrestleMania. Really? Well, have fun with that.
Yeah, I mean that's just very unfortunate that you're making them have to wait that long to sit for that, setting up for stuff that just yeah, it's just the it needed to end. And then hearing Paul Heyman both on hopefully you heard, maybe you saw him on First Take, uh, saying, "Oh, well, so what? He's dead." To Bobby the Brain Heenan, and then his prayers, his prayers aren't getting answered because Jimmy Hart's still alive. Funny. He is that appearance. That is the perfect show for wrestlers to appear on because that is the WWE of ESPN in First Take. It's just all just storylines and just
Yeah.
hyped up stuff that doesn't matter. Talking about the Dallas Cowboys in the middle of the year, talking about LeBron James. So just
You got
throw Paul
Stephen
Heyman.
A. just in the bed, like while he's going ranting. Stephen A. just like, "Oh my goodness!"
Oh
Like
yeah,
this.
that was great. I mean, he's got nothing. He has nothing to say on this. You can't not very many are gonna bash and be able to go head to head on the mic with Paul Heyman. So whether or not it's real or just like a in the wrestling realm too, it's gonna be he's very good. He's very well rounded in the
Yeah.
wordsmith.
Whenever the wrestlers are on any talk shows like that, it just shows how charismatic they are, like compared to everybody else.
Yeah, without
Like
a
even
doubt.
like the Miz, like I hate on the Miz and shit, but like he is such like you cannot deny how like quick, like he's just like in the MJF in that sense where he's
Yeah,
just so quick and like he can just
quick. He's
yeah.
witty. He's a little, he's kind of PG rated right now. But if he was on the lighter side, I figure he could make it maybe get a little bit better. But very kid oriented in that sense. But no, I could still respect that. He's on it. He's on top of it. He can speak. He's not dumb in that sense. So I can get around
Hmm.
that and be entertaining all around. Yeah. So I like that Paul Heyman there, and then Paul Heyman's what I was getting to was that this whole bloodline storyline only being in the bottom of the third. Oh boy. So if this is the bottom of the third over these it's been like 3 years, so we're gonna get another 6 years of bloodline storyline. Count me the
Batter
fuck
up.
out. Batter up. And there is no pitch clock in this game, I'll tell you what.
Play ball.
There's no pitch clock. There's no batter on
Oh.
second. There's no balks. There's no one in the stands. There's nobody.
It's an
Uh
Oakland A's game.
oh yeah, that's what's going on. That's the bloodline for you. I just think that everything about it. I mean, getting to the match, it was drawn out. It was boring. I, I knew it was going to be a long show. I can't sit here and complain about that because AEW shows,
They
just
do the
regular
same
pay-per-views, they
thing.
go long.
Yeah.
They're going to go long. So you can't sit here and complain about that. But if you're going to go long, you got to be entertaining. That's where the difference is. AEW keeps you
Yeah.
intrigued and involved, and the matches don't suck so hard that you'd rather watch paint dry.
They
So
go to 11 too, but yeah, I'm not falling asleep by the end of their shows.
yeah. And I hate that. It's like you can change the channel. Well, I can't really do that at my friend's house when they're also watching it. Am I gonna put on Pawn Stars while everyone wants to watch the main event? No, I just can't do that. I'm not gonna
let's
leave.
let's watch Pawn Stars,
Yeah,
guys,
or whatever.
instead.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I was doing I was doing the usual, playing the Family Guy highlights, and then mixing around, doing some Subway Surfer, doing the doing the
Classic.
Spectrum things. But it was exactly that. Like it was boring. But like I had to just sit there and watch it, and actually, for the sake of confirming that it's not just me and my bias, it was brutal. It was brutal to get through. It took forever.
I
It was a
felt the same
bore.
way.
It was an absolute bore from start to finish. I wish it was good because I didn't want to waste my time. I think that's where a lot of people are kind of losing that. Like, oh, you just didn't like it because you're an AEW guy. No, I value my time, so I wanted to watch quality wrestling. I thought we could have at least gotten that out of it. No, very minimal throughout that entire night was I intrigued or entertained by the wrestling or involved at all. It took a lot. It took a lot. So overall, I mean, again, if my expectations were all the pictures that are going, like I love those, like John Cena on The Rock come back and they're standing next to Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, uh, uh, Randy Orton beating up Roman Reigns. There was no comebacks. I even like the one thing. Remember everyone hyping up, oh, who's going to be the big return? It's Carlito. It's going to be Randy Orton. It's going to be Bray Wyatt. Nobody. Nobody.
Happy SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's what you get. Hopefully Detroit was happy with that. They clearly weren't, because I mean it wasn't even booze or this is boring or like cheers. There was nothing. It was crickets. People were asleep in that crowd.
Yeah.
60,000. And there was no. Have you heard 60,000 people make no noise? That's got to be, oh, that's chilling. I don't like that.
Hmm.
It's creepy. Say something.
Yeah, I saw clips of the crowd during the main event, and they were dead silent. And I
Yeah.
saw like pictures of people with like boring pay-per-view, like
Boring,
watching Collision on their phone, and
boring PLE. They just do it
yeah,
all, yeah.
boring ass premium live events.
I love it. The internet reigns supreme every single time. Oh man. But I honestly, I mean, that's
But it just shows that we aren't alone in thinking like this was, yeah, I mean, it was boring. And
yes.
people are tuned out of this shit, man. They fucked
It
up.
takes a lot. It definitely, yeah, it takes a lot to get involved and stay involved in this, and it just, yeah, it can get brutal. So can only hope for better pay-per-views, PLEs, whatever they want to be called. Still not getting over that. I'm something. Again, we want wrestling. We don't want one company to do bad and not. We want wrestling to prosper. That's at least that I think we both share that sentiment for sure.
Yeah.
The tribalism thing is dumb, but it's clear cut when one has the production side and has all the means to make these guys do well and push the good talent, but then they just fuck up on every side of the thing, and then the other company has still some growing pains for sure, but the talent is there. There's the good matches, there's the bad matches, but it gets bashed on for whatever reason because it's only it's just the it's just the ex WWE talent. That's all you got there, or your women's division isn't good enough, therefore I can't pay attention. Just shit like that. It's got to go. So I mean, again, at the end of the day, we bash on the pay-per-views only because it was shit wrestling, not because we want to hate on the company. So I'll leave it at that. I think that was, overall SummerSlam in the middle of the road. There was potential, but didn't hit on every single mark. Could have been better. I wish it was. So I'll leave it at that. Any final thoughts on SummerSlam?
Yeah, I mean, it was just disappointing overall, I feel like, and hopefully WWE can turn it around because we need better wrestling from them.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. We're running a little bit late, so I'm not going to get to our debate. I'll maybe tease it for next time. A little debate, some idea. Maybe just get an idea just with the modern day style of how wrestling matches are, produced and how they go up on TV and, the lighting and all that fun stuff. And just, I don't know, I got something to throw in, something I've been kind of tinkering with. So maybe something you can sit on, maybe the people at home, you're like, oh, what's Nick thinking? Maybe we'll get to that next week. Like I said, just teasing it.
Oh
I think
yeah.
that about wraps it up for tonight. It's episode 30 in the books. Let's see. Thank you very much for joining us, tuning in. Thank you, Alan, for taking your notes. You're still taking your notes. I hope you are. And thank you, Troy, always for listening, tuning in. He's going to be, of course, helping us out with the Kentucky updates as the time comes by, as the season rolls on. Let's see. AFC West preview for next week. So get ready for that. Bring your pens, papers if you want to get some gambling tips, tricks, anything, everything that we've been breaking down.
Unlimited.
And then Let's see, maybe a preview of what's to come. You know, we can maybe make mention of our draft. That's coming up in about 2 weeks from now. I think we'll obviously we'll be, if we got the time, maybe we can go back to our fantasy shows, but we'll see again. We'll kind of maybe just integrate it into here. We'll see how that goes. Either way, it's been tons of fun talking to you tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it at home. Everyone, everywhere, take care. We'll see you
Spike
next
your hair.
time. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see yous. Ooh.
It's out.